Council meeting. Before Mayor Parker calls the meeting to order, we ask that you please be seated and silence all electronic devices. City Council meetings are conducted for the official business of City Council and to receive input from residents. Members of the public attending meetings shall observe rules of decorum and shall not engage in conduct that interferes with the ability of those present to observe or to participate in the meeting without disruption or fear of intimidation, threats, or hostility. An individual engaging in disruptive conduct may be removed from the chamber and could be arrested for disruption of a meeting. Speakers who engage in disruptive conduct could have their mic muted and be removed from the chamber and arrested for disruption of a meeting. Disruptive conduct includes yelling, screaming, clapping, or other noise-creating acts. For those of you who are requested to speak, when your name is called, please come forward to the center podium. The countdown clock is displayed on the left monitor and will indicate how much time is remaining. A bell will sound when you have 30 seconds remaining. Before you begin your comments, please state your name and city of residence. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette, and welcome to your Fort Worth City Council meeting. We are hereby called to order.
Tonight's invocation will be by Pastor Ben Weiss from Grace Community Church. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledges of allegiance.
Father, we welcome you into this place. We're so grateful that you are God and you are good and you do all things well. We ask for your wisdom tonight as decisions are made, as we have conversation. We ask for unity as we gather. We ask for your peace that passes understanding to guard our hearts and guard our minds in Christ Jesus. Lord, I pray that you would direct our steps, that the wisdom that you promise in James chapter 1 would be available for each of us today, and that you would get glory from all that we do, Father. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have either of the ASL interpreters arrived? Mayor and Council, our first items of business are the special presentations, with the first one being a presentation of a recognition celebrating 100 years of life of Dr. Opal Lee.
And promise, if you'd like to join me up here, you'd be welcome to. And council, anyone that would like to join me for this important recognition, you of course will be welcome as well. This evening, we are honored to have a recognition opportunity to celebrate 100 years of life for Dr. Opal Lee. It truly is a privilege for all of us to serve on council during this time period and to recognize Dr. Lee for so many accomplishments as we continue to celebrate throughout the next several weeks her 100th year. Dr. Lee was born on October 7th, 1926. Fort Worth is deeply proud of Dr. Lee. Her decades of perseverance she devoted to fighting for all communities and ensuring that Juneteenth received the recognition it truly deserves as a national holiday. Her leadership has helped elevate an important chapter of American history and inspired millions across this country, earning her the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2024. Importantly, we all understand here in Fort Worth that her impact extends far beyond our city and far beyond the establishment of a national holiday. Most recently, she's worked tirelessly alongside our friend Jared Howard and many others to bring to fruition the National Juneteenth Museum that will be here in Fort Worth, Texas, now very close to the beginning of construction to happening in historic Southside. We are joined tonight by her beautiful granddaughter, Promise. Thank you for being here today on her behalf. And I believe at this time we're supposed to cue a video, is that correct? We'll do that and then have additional remarks. Thank you. This is your chance to sing, Chris. As you can see from this video playing, that, ladies and gentlemen, is meant to have no sound. There's no mistake here in the background, but we are here to honor Dr. Opal Lee. Whereas the Honorable Dr. Opal Lee, affectionately known as the grandmother of Juneteenth, has dedicated her life to education, community service, and the advancement of freedom and equality. Whereas as a longtime Fort Worth resident, educator, counselor, and civic leader, Dr. Lee has positively impacted generations through her commitment to public service and community advocacy. And whereas through her tireless efforts to preserve and promote the significance of Juneteenth, Dr. Lee led a national movement that helped secure federal recognition of National Juneteenth Independence Day. And whereas her advocacy culminated in the signing of the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act on June 17th, 2021, establishing Juneteenth as a federal holiday and solidifying her legacy as a champion of freedom, historical awareness, and justice. Whereas in recognition of her extraordinary contributions, Dr. Lee was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2024, and at 99 years young, continues to inspire people across Fort Worth, Texas, and the nation through her perseverance, her leadership, unwavering belief in the power of history to shape a better future. And for those that know Dr. Lee as well, keen sense of humor. Whereas at nearly 100 years, Dr. Opal Lee continues to inspire people across Fort Worth, Texas, and the nation through her grace, perseverance, and steadfast belief that understanding our history strengthens our future. Now, therefore, the City of Fort Worth hereby proudly recognize and honor the Honorable Dr. Opal Lee for her extraordinary life of service, advocacy, and leadership, and for her enduring contributions to the City of Fort Worth, the state of Texas, and the United States of America. Thank you, Promise, for being here. We'll take a picture in a minute when you talk. I'll hold this for you.
This is a little odd for me. I want to just turn around and talk like this, but I'm honored to be here for my grandmother. If she could be here, she would say that it's all up to us young people, and you're young if you're not 99 years old, uh, to make the impact that we need in this world. So this is my first time stepping inside this room. I know there's a lot that happens in this room, so just know that if she could be here, she would. She is doing well. She is, like you said, still cracking jokes, still doing all those things, but she's a late riser and an early to bed these days. But you will get a chance to see her for Juneteenth. And I'm just so excited. I'm excited for her. It's my grandmother first, and I've watched her hard work all her life. To see that National Juneteenth Museum, that is a thought that was just in her head. And to see it come into fruition, and I'm praying she gets an opportunity to see it happen. So I just want to thank you all, and thank you for continuing to recognize my grandmother. So thank you.
We'll take a picture. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have an important recognition to the Lake Como Neighborhood Advisory Council, otherwise known as the NAC, for excellence, community leadership, and 3 consecutive Neighborhood of the Year awards. Please join me, and Dr. Hall, you got to come back down here. I'll just say a few things before Dr. Hall takes the microphone. There are some amazing leaders in Fort Worth, and specifically from the Como community that are here tonight. Y'all come on down. You're here from Como, please come join me. Importantly, these folks show up every single day for their neighborhoods, teaching us all what it looks like to be great neighbors. They have been recognized through the Fort Worth Neighborhood Awards, registered neighborhood associations for their beautification projects, crime prevention programs, wellness initiatives, social events, and a new category for distinguished veterans. This year, Lake Como NAC was named Neighborhood of the Year, as I said, for the 3rd consecutive year in a row. But those that get to work with these amazing people, they weren't surprised at all, Dr. Stanley. It is always such fun to be there every year and honor your entire organization. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our representative from District 6, Dr. Mia Hall.
Thank you, Mayor. As Mayor said, anyway, I'm just very honored to have this opportunity to recognize the Lake Como community, to win an award 3 years in a row, not only here in the city, but to do so nationally is quite a feat, and it's an amazing accomplishment. And it is all attributed to your dedication and the hard work that you all do in your neighborhood collectively each and every day. So today is really a special day for District 6, our very own Lake Como, African-American neighborhood that has been a cornerstone of this city for more than 120 years, has once again been recognized as both National Neighborhood of the Year by National Neighborhoods USA and Neighborhood of the Year through the Mayor's Community Engagement Awards. And y'all, they didn't do it once, they didn't do it twice, but 3 times in a row. And they told me they were, this time last year, they were gonna win it a 3rd time. So you proved me not wrong, but you stood up for what you said you were gonna get done. In my 12 months as councilwoman, I have personally witnessed the steadfast commitment that Lake Como residents have to their fellow neighbors and to their community. From monthly food drives to after-school programs to community celebrations, Lake Como is a model neighborhood, demonstrating what can be accomplished when residents come together in the name of service and in the name of community. Como is the epitome of what it means to love your neighbor. To every resident, volunteer, neighborhood leader, church organization, and community partner who has played a role in this success, this recognition belongs to you. And on behalf of District 6 and the City of Fort Worth, our mayor, congratulations. Okay. On behalf of District 6, the City of Fort Worth, and our mayor, congratulations on this incredible achievement. We are so proud of you. We are grateful for you, and we are honored to celebrate you today. So let's give them a round of applause, you guys. Do you want me to read this long whereas? Would y'all like me to read it, or would you like to take it? I can read. Okay. See, okay. I know my Como family, so here we go. All right. Now this is a test of my eyesight. I'm getting older. All right. Whereas the historic Lake Como neighborhood stands as one of Fort Worth's most treasured and enduring African-American communities, celebrating more than 120 years of resilience, leadership, service, and unwavering community pride, while honoring its rich history and investing in the promise of future generations. And whereas established during an era of segregation, Lake Como became a beacon of opportunity, self-determination, and community strength, where generations of African-American families built homes, founded businesses, nurtured churches, supported schools, and cultivated institutions that continue to shape the cultural and historical landscape of Fort Worth. And whereas, through both the City of Fort Worth, Mayor's Community Engagement Awards, and the National Neighborhoods USA Neighborhood of the Year competition, Lake Como earned Neighborhood of the Year recognition in 2023, 2024, and 2025, reflecting an extraordinary and sustained commitment to community engagement and neighborhood excellence. And whereas Lake Como received national recognition for the Lake Como Juneteenth celebration, coming soon, the Lake Como Cemetery Revitalization and Preservation Project, and the Como Lions Heart College Dorm Kit Program, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to preserving historic legacy, cultivating educational opportunity, and strengthening the bonds of community that have sustained Lake Como for more than a century. Now, therefore, the City of Fort Worth does hereby proudly recognize and commend the historic Lake Como neighborhood, its residents, organizations, volunteers, and community partners for earning Neighborhood of the Year recognition at both the local and national levels for 3 consecutive years. We celebrate Lake Como's extraordinary legacy of resilience, leadership, and service, and honor its continued commitment, preserving its rich history, strengthening its community, and inspiring generations to come. Congratulations. All right. We are going to take a And anyone that's here for the Lake Como community, we would love you to come down and join us for this picture.
Scoot in on the end here, guys. A little bit more. All right. Can I see everyone's faces here? No one's hiding. All right, guys. Oh, make sure I want to see your face. There we go. All right. Big smile here on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good to go. Thank you, guys. We're gonna take one more. Oh, can, we're gonna go at the same time. Sorry. Okay. We've got 2 photos. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Mayor Harry.
So our next presentation will be a presentation of a recognition celebrating 50 years of Hip Pocket Theater by Councilmember Hill.
Is this working? Yes, okay. All right, we are here to celebrate 50 seasons of the Hip Pocket Theater, and with me are members of the Board of Directors and staff from Hip Pocket. Thank you all so much for being here this evening. The Hip Pocket Theater began in 1976. It's weird. Hold on. Began in 1976. And over many years of collaboration between Johnny Simmons and Douglas Ballantyne, the Hip Pocket Theater produced more than 30 original musicals that often paid homage to their Fort Worth home. And for nearly 50 years, the resilience of Hip Pocket Theater has never ceased, standing as Fort Worth's only and oldest outdoor experimental theater, calling 3 different locations home before settling into its current rustic home in District 7 on Silver Creek Road. And throughout its history, Hip Pocket Theater has been an active and creative force in the Fort Worth community through partnerships, educational outreach, and performances that have impacted audiences locally and internationally. And in 1983, the Hip Pocket Theater proudly represented Fort Worth internationally, taking more than 40 actors, musicians, and technicians to perform at Queen Elizabeth Hall in London, England. And today, the Hip Pocket Theater continues its legacy through its annual free community puppetry festival, the Twilight Soiree, and the Diane Simmons Mentorship Program for high school and college-age theater technicians, original play readings, workshops, and main stage productions under the Texas Stars that incorporate dance, mask, mime, puppetry, music, and more. Now, therefore, the City of Fort Worth does hereby proclaim June 9th, 2026 as Hip Pocket Theater Day in Fort Worth. Would you like to say a few words? Okay. Microphone is yours.
I just want to say a very heartfelt thanks to all of the members of the Fort Worth community. We are proud to serve you. We are proud to be here in our community for 50 years, and we'll do it for 50 more. Thank you so much.
Our next presentation will be a presentation of a recognition for the Osprey Bass 35th Annual Youth Fishing Festival by Councilmember Beck.
Good evening. Tonight I am joined at the podium by members of our Osprey Bass Anglers Club. Founded in 1991, the Osprey Bass Anglers Club encourages Fort Worth youth and their families to take advantage of our city's natural resources. The club established the foundation in 2021 with the focus on revitalization of underserved communities and their nearby ecosystems. The vision of the foundation is to help people achieve their personal best by using knowledge, principles, and techniques gathered from prior generations of successful anglers and mentors. For the past 35 years, they have hosted their annual youth fishing festival at the City of Fort Worth's Greenbrier Community Center and provided all the necessary equipment and bait for free. The mission of the festival is to help young people gain skillful knowledge and to have a stress-free, family-oriented day outside. And I have had the opportunity to attend the festival on multiple occasions, and I can tell you that if you are an angler in the city of Fort Worth, of the youth variety, none of you adults, I'm skipping in on it, but they actually stock Greenbrier Community Center's pond with some pretty large-sized bass for that event. It is a really neat event that we have here in the city of Fort Worth, and it's really great to see people utilizing our city resources in the way that they do. I didn't know that I could fish for bass in the city of Fort Worth until I learned, until I went out to the Osprey Festival. So I encourage you all to come out and learn to fish and visit Greenbrier Community Center. We stock it twice a year. And with that, I think Oris has some words. Yes, all right.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, and Mayor. Osprey Bass Anglers started with a bunch of military gentlemen that were stationed at Carswell Air Force Base. As we got together and was fishing at Benbrook Lake, we decided to form a club. And drawing up our club bylaws, one of the things we said was we was going to give back to the community. With that, a quick statement I'm gonna make. My dad was in the military, stationed at Pleiku and Fain Rain. And the kids in my neighborhood used to tease me and say, your dad's not coming back home, nobody comes back. And he made a phone call, radio call, I guess, to my mom. My mom said, your son's upset, you need to talk to him. He talked to me and he told me, I'm coming back. When I get back, we're gonna spend a lot of time. Me being selfish, my dad started taking me fishing. Well, they always took me fishing. But they would include the neighborhood kids. The same guys that was teasing me went fishing with me. So I introduced to the club that we need to give back to the community because that's what my dad wanted me to do. So I gave back to the community, talked to the club members, and we started the kids fishing tournament. Thank to the Fort Worth Sportsman Club and CJ Punchbait, who I met at a boat show. And he said he would be there with us from then on. He has. The 20th, we'll be having our next one. Last year, we had over 300-something kids with their parents. But that's all I'm going to say right now. What I'm going to do is, I'm the oldest member of the club, or one of the oldest. I'm going to turn it over to one of the youth.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Noah Cottrell, and I want to thank you for recognizing the Osprey Bass Anglers Foundation. I first attended the Bass Anglers Fishing Festival when I was 10 years old. At that age, I was just excited to be outside, go fishing and be a part of something fun. But looking back at it now, that event meant a lot more to me than I realized at the time. It gave me confidence, it taught me patience, and helped me build a real love for fishing in the outdoors. What made the biggest impact on me was seeing adults take the time to teach kids like me and encourage us and make sure that we had a great experience. And that stuck with me. Now, at 18 years old, I'm proud to say that I've become a member of the club. And even more meaningful, I now get to volunteer at the same fishing festival I grew up attending. It feels full circle to help give younger kids the same experience that made such a big difference in my life. The Osprey Bass Anglers is more than just a fishing club. It brings people together, it supports the youth, and it creates memories between people that will last a lifetime. So thank you again for recognizing this foundation.
Mayor and Council, I believe we have a short video about the project.
Thank you.
Our next presentation will be a presentation of recognition to Dr. Gwendolyn Morrison for 50 years of service to the city of Fort Worth as the longest service board member of the Tarrant County College District.
So, Mayor and Council and audience, seeing all those beautiful young people at that fishing tournament just made me so excited because they are the embodiment of the work that the next honoree has done. So I'm going to ask, before I ask the honoree to come up, I'm going to ask her son, Jonathan Morrison, her other bonus son, Reginald Gates, who is the Vice Chancellor for Communications at Tarrant County College, and Dr. Eva LeBlanc to join me here at the podium as we get ready to recognize an extraordinary woman. If you had been here earlier with me and Chris, you all know I said I'm a backup dancer. So I would be the backup dancer for Dr. Gwendolyn Morrison any time of the year. So Dr. Morrison, would you please join me and Chris Nettles here for some special recognition? And then Mayor, I'm going to ask all of you to come down because the work that she does at Tarrant County College has benefited and enriched all of our lives. So Dr. Morrison, whereas you are a graduate of the famous Stephen F. Austin University and my alma mater, Texas Woman's University, you're a noted champion of education, and you are the longest serving board member of Tarrant County College since being elected in April of 1976. And for those of you who don't understand, in 1976, Dr. Morrison had to run at large. She ran not from a district, but across all of Tarrant County, and Tarrant County residents saw the value in her service. Whereas in 1975, you chartered and co-founded you were the chartering president of the Greater Fort Worth Negro Area Business and Professional Women's Club, a club that is still in existence today and does extraordinary work. Whereas you taught in the Fort Worth Independent School District and served as director of Fort Worth ISD departments, including the state-approved teacher certification and employment staffing. Whereas, this is just so much good stuff, you were appointed by Governor Bill Clements, Lord have mercy, Governor Bill Clements, as the first Black member of the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. She was also appointed by Governor George W. Bush to the Governor's Commission on Women and to the Governor's Council on Purchasing for People of Disabilities. Whereas Dr. Gwendolyn Morrison serves as a chairman of the board for the Community Food Bank in Fort Worth, Texas, and her family, including Jonathan, are founding members of the historic Rosedale Park Neighborhood Association, and she also served as past member for the Community Hospice of Texas and Tarrant County Black Historical and Genealogical Society. And Chris, if you didn't think I'd ever stop reading, will you give the great line now?
Therefore, be it resolved, the city of Fort Worth, Texas is proudly to honor and celebrate and recognize Dr. Gwendolyn Morrison as a pivotal figure and notable citizen of Fort Worth committed to public service, presented this 9th day of June. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes, please make the remark. She's an educator, you all. She has to give remarks.
Thank you so much. Good evening, and thank you all for being here tonight. More than 60 years ago, it was the vision of voters of Tarrant County to have affordable, quality education available to residents of Tarrant County. And I am grateful to God and the citizen voters of Tarrant County who have gifted me the opportunity to further this vision into the mission and the reality that Tarrant County College is today. Today, Tarrant County College annually serves more than 100,000 students. This year, we awarded over 9,000 degrees and certificates, a record high, with 30% being in high-demand occupation fields. In the past decade, TCC's dual enrolled student population has grown about 90% from 6,500 high school students to 2015 to 12,500 students. For each Tarrant County Independent School District senior class, an estimated 1/3 attended TCC by the end of their senior year. TCC generates $2.3 billion in added annual income for Tarrant County, and we returned $64.4 million to Tarrant County taxpayers in 2025. We invested $5 million in tax increment districts, and TCC invested $15 million in area independent school districts through the dual credit tuition waivers. We believe in community and view Tarrant County College as a shared investment between the community, students, and the college. Thank you, Councilwoman Deborah Peoples, for initiating this recognition. Thank you, Mayor Maddie Parker, and all of the council members for this honor. I am deeply honored to celebrate 50 years of continuous elected service to Tarrant County College. Elected 2 times countywide in 1976 and 1982, I'd also like to thank my husband of 53 years, Ben Morrison, and his father, Jury Morrison and Francine Morrison, who were well loved in Fort Worth as I started this journey in 1976. I'm also very grateful to our 3 children, Brandon and his wife Toya, our daughter Betsy, and a special thanks to our son Jonathan, who is here today and who works daily here in Fort Worth to make our chosen hometown and his hometown a better place to live and work. And my grandson Griffin, who's 8 years old, I want to thank him for inspiring me every day to keep working. A special thanks goes to all who over the 60 years have contributed to the success of Tarrant County College. Thanks especially to our current Chancellor, Dr. Elva LeBlanc, for carrying on the success and continuing the legacy. And I thank all of you for being here to support me. I want to ask my longtime friend, Christine Moss, to come and join me here. We've been friends since 1975. She was a charter member of that organization, and we still work there together and live in the same neighborhood. Thank you so much. And may I just say that the first neighborhood that I ever visited in Fort Worth was Lake Como. Thank you.
And our last presentation will be a presentation of a recognition to the Fort Worth Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Lanzere graduates. Councilmember Crane.
Thank you, Jeanette. Y'all come on up. Come on up. Y'all, I want to introduce you to part of the May or cohort of the Lanzar program. To refresh everybody's memory, this was a grant that we received through the office, but through the city to the Hispanic Chamber to create a small business program to help. And what we found is a lot of times there are people with great ideas and they're scared to execute on them and take the risk, but they need the tools to do that. And so we have a great group here as part of that. This is the 6th class. This was in English. They teach sometimes in English, sometimes in Spanish. This one was in English. And some example of some businesses that got started because of this: construction, auto shop, HR consulting, cleaning businesses. And so I won't read all of this. They each got special recognition and Molly pins. But Gilberto, I think you're going to talk on behalf of the group, and we'll see what happens from there. Congratulations.
All right, good evening, Mayor and council members. I just wanted to take a moment to highlight the impact of our program because it's become one of our signature initiatives for developing and growing small businesses. To date, we graduated 6 cohorts, 3 in English, 3 in Spanish, with nearly 60 entrepreneurs completing the program. Through this initiative, they receive hands-on guidance to build sustainable businesses, but the results speak for themselves. Approximately 80% of the participants complete a thorough business plan. We have had, in the past 2 years, more than 20 businesses registered with a new LLC. And beyond education, we've seen the economic impact. In last year's cohort, we had one of our Landsat participants actually secure a private contract this year for $142,000. And so I think that's a big... But stories like that is because we're actually transforming the training program into a small business incubator. And so we're also going to provide leadership development, more mentorship opportunities, of course, the one-on-one technical assistance, so they can keep growing after this graduation. And so we're very proud of all of this, but I think the thing that I'm most proud of is that we're also creating business owners that have great values, who are always committed to giving back to the community. So after this program, a lot of them stay involved in the organization, they volunteer for certain things, and they understand the importance of giving back. So thank you so much for all the graduates, and congratulations on being the 2026 Landsat graduates.
Congratulations.
Yeah, let's take a picture.
Let's take a picture.
Next will be items to be continued or withdrawn by staff.
We have 3 items to be continued. ZC 25-184 and ZC 25-205 will be continued to December 8th council meeting. And MNC 26-0422 will be continued to June 23rd council meeting.
Mayor, that gets us to the consent agenda speakers, and I believe we have 2.
Thank you. Our first speaker is Bob Willoughby, followed by Adrian Smith.
Well, this is not CCP. Oh, there we go. We're ready to go. Go ahead and play the video. Okay, I don't know if there's any sound to this thing or not. I forgot what I did.
Hey, Charlie.
Are you gonna come down and take any questions or not, Mr. Carlos? About the CCP funds. Are you gonna run away? They'll take questions, all the soft questions like Kamala Harris, but they won't take. Oh, so, you're not going to take a question, huh, Carl? You know, the detective sent me an email. Okay, he called me. He sent me an email, but the CCP, it didn't answer the question, sir.
I'll answer your question. Put down your camera, and I'll be happy to answer your question.
Well, we need them on film, sir. Why you? You're transparent. You're not going to be transparent.
When you are ready to have a genuine conversation with me,
do it on film.
call me.
We'll do it on film, though. We won't do it in secret rooms, Carlos. That's crooked.
It'll be at my office.
Well, okay, call me. Let's do it, but let's do it with the camera. You don't contact me. I will, but we got to do it with the camera, okay? You got to agree to public transparency, they call it. Transparency, right? No. I'm being nice. I didn't chase him down there, did I? I'm doing better. Yeah. I would have chased him all the way down there earlier.
Now, this is the thing I've been bringing up here for the last few years. No one's answered up here. Carlos runs away. Now, what I'd like to do is get, see this website by Rodney. He got $800,000. That's a dummy website. There was a fake number and everything, so I brought it to their attention, and then they fixed it. Now, Phil Soares here is sitting on his desk, the corruption of the CCPD funds, the misuse, and we want him to invoke the Texas Rangers because they said they'd do an audit. And that's what we want, an audit on these numbers. And if we do that, I think there's going to be some major stuff coming loose, but it's not. They're fighting it. That's why our DA will not. The DA told me, I'm not going to dispute the evidence, and I'm not going to act on the evidence, and I'm not going to do anything, is what the DA said. So I've been up at the Commissioner's Court asking them, they'd ask the DA why, but they turn a blind eye too. They're not going to ask him why. He's not doing his job. So anyway, there is something in our House Rule 17 House Rule about removing the DA, but that's probably going to take an act of God. Nevertheless, I'm trying to get local voter education in our schools to teach the next generation not to be as dumb as the generation I live in. When you allow this mayor to take away free speech from the people of Fort Worth for 2 years and you don't say anything, we're dumbing down pretty bad. We need to teach these kids in school. So that's the same thing about the CCPD funds. They've been misused, they won't answer, and they run away, and it's got all the signs of corruption, you know, every bit of it. So anyway, they're not answering. I can't make them answer. The DA don't want to do anything, and the people of the city of Fort Worth, they just flat don't care. Thank you.
Adrian Smith.
Adrian Smith, District 6. I am one with the people. So the first council agenda item I'm speaking to is Mayor and Council Communication 26-0438, and it speaks to a settlement that was that's due to be finalized once you all vote after this non-consent agenda. Congratulations, Captain Paula Conway, on your court victory against the abuse of power, denial for something you rightfully earned, and silence from those whom we, the people, elect as representation of our city. I'm sure no amount of money can make up for the turmoil you went through under the leadership of former police chief Neil Noakes. But it sends a message to all future whistleblowers that you don't have to be afraid of speaking up against tyranny. Chief Eddie Garcia, hopefully you have done something to identify potential bad actors within the ranks of the Fort Worth Police Department who don't serve the interests of the greater good of our city. And again, congratulations to Captain Paula Conway on her settlement in the amount of $1,116,936, all because she was demoted by former police chief Neil Noakes because of his abuse of power. But however, I'm gonna leave it where it is. Now, this next agenda item I'm speaking on is 260484. Water Department Staff and Purchasing Division. Is there someone who can explain to myself and the people of our city the purpose of this massive contract? $5,559,562 for the initial term, which will balloon to an additional $22,248,000 of the contract life. Although this contract is said for the purpose of all districts, my number one pressing question to either division, didn't we already previously update our metering systems throughout the city to a digital format? Mayor Parker, will you give space and time for any representative from either division explaining to water utility taxpayers the purpose of this massive contract? I know you won't. So I would humbly ask someone from either of those divisions, please give me a call and give me better clarity as to why this contract is so massive and necessary. Thank you.
That's the end of our consent agenda speakers. Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion from council? If not, please vote. Charlie's a yes. Motion carries.
Next will be presentations and announcements from council. I believe, Mayor, we have the first one is Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Okay. Carlos?
Okay, there we go. All right, first slide, please. All right, from left to right, on the left, the Fort Worth Police Department held its Northwest Division Summer Kickoff Party at the Northside Community Center. It was a great opportunity to have a lot of resources for the community there present and have some fun, as well as learn what kind of resources the city and other of our resources, our local resources, offer them. In the center, I was honored to take part in the 97th Annual Memorial Day service at Greenwood Funeral Homes Cremation, presented a proclamation on behalf of the mayor, and our own Charlie Larsdorf also emceed the event. On the right, on behalf of the mayor, joined the Fort Worth Public Library to kick off the Mayor's Summer Reading Challenge at Trinity Park. And we honored the award winners for the bookmark contest, so that was a lot of fun. Next slide, please. Okay, on the left, modern aviation's groundbreaking at Meacham International Airport. This is part of the midfield development that the airport keeps doing to great success. Modern aviation has a reputation for high level of standards for FBOs, fixed-base operators, and cutting-edge facility is going to augment those resources there at Meacham, bring in jobs, and increase our economic footprint here locally. So thanks to Modern Aviation, was joined also by my colleague Macy Hill and representatives from District 6. Next slide, or I should say in the center, I was honored to speak again on behalf of the mayor at the Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce Luncheon. For 46 years, the Chamber has shown leadership, advocacy, and support for Black-owned businesses and entrepreneurs. Love to see that they have increased their membership ranks, and they are also having a lot of great momentum going forward, and applaud them for all their leaderships. On the right, I was proud to join members of our city's Economic Development Department at the University of Texas Research Institute for the TMAC 2026 Texas Manufacturing Excellence Awards. The City of Fort Worth was recognized with 2 awards, so thank you, staff, for that outstanding work. And the last slide I have, FIFA is coming to town, in case you haven't heard, so there's a lot of activities that are going to be activated. The mayor and I think Councilmember Crane, were also at Billy Bob's here on Sunday, helping them kick off that event. A lot of world travelers are visiting Fort Worth, and also Trinity Metro had a pep rally there at Central Station, kicking off their contributions because we need public transit to move all these people around town. And so they kicked off that to much fanfare, and we're all excited. Great regional partnership and teamwork. And one announcement, the last slide, the Far Greater Northside Historical Neighborhood Association will have their annual Juneteenth Freedom Festival. And they're doing this in collaboration with one of our community centers, the North Tri Community Center. That is Friday, June 19th from 6 to 8. And also, we're going to have a family fun day, Saturday, June 20th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please bring your lawn chair. These are occurring at Lincoln Park, 2922 Lincoln Avenue. Hope to see you there. That's all I have.
Thank you, Carlos. I'm riding behind Jeanette, who has a presentation.
Councilmember Nettles is next.
Thank you. There you go.
Thank you. All right, the first slide is It was an event that we happened at the new historic Southside Community Center. We was knocking down a wall that the community center is going to be housed at Havey Harvey Peace. This is part of a partnership that we're working with Juneteenth to take over the Southside Community Center. So really want to thank city staff for coming together and putting this event together. And so we have a couple of our community members helping take part in that. The next slide is our Court in the Community Warrant Forgiveness. We had a total of 170 served, total of 550 cases resolved, and a total of 468 warrants cleared. So we want to appreciate Brigham Valley Church for participating in that and hosting that event. The next slide is a game room opening in memory of Harrison Thomas III, who suddenly lost his life. So Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church named a game room in his honor. And so it was a great event to memorialize such a great young man with great purpose. So we really appreciate that. Next slide. Had the opportunity, I do this every year, is go and congratulate all of our high school graduates. This year I was able to attend North Crowley High School as well as Crowley High School graduation to encourage our youth to continue to climb in education. Next slide. TCEQ commissioner meeting was at Highland Hills. Those of you that know, we had the big case that took place in Highland Hills, and Highland Hills requested for us to have a sit-down meeting with the state and all those in charge. And so we had over 60 residents there, TCEQ, Commissioner Miles. We had a lot of our city staffs conducting this meeting. So I want to take the opportunity to thank city staff for going over and beyond what has been asked of you. Next slide. Many of our colleagues, I'm sure Councilwoman Beck will talk about it, worship at the Mount Gilead Baptist Church alongside with all of our council members for their final service. It was a great historic moment for Mount Gilead. And as the pastor told us, just because we live in this building, we're not done ministering to the people of Fort Worth. So we really appreciate the work that they have done in the city of Fort Worth. A couple of announcements. We have the Soul of Sycamore event coming June the 20th, Saturday. It's going to be at the Sycamore Park. We also, next slide, have the Eastside Cops versus Community Barbecue Cook-Off, June the 20th. I think that last year was the first time I ate a rib. And so I'm looking forward to doing it again this year, and it was pretty good. One rib. Thank you. Next slide, please. District 8 event this Saturday, June the 13th, Team Conflict Resolution Leadership Training at Mount Olive. There's a QR code. Please scan it. It's on our social media page, working with our conflicts resolutions here in the city of Fort Worth in District 8. So we appreciate Mount Olive again for hosting this event. And I believe the final announcement we have is going to be Friday, June the 12th from 6 to 9. It's going to be held at the Fort Worth African American Museum and Culture Center, 3100 East Rosedale, Fort Worth, Texas, 76105. Come and be a part of this great event. Those are all the announcements that I have.
Thank you, Chris. Councilmember Beck?
Thank you. First up, I had the opportunity to read to a group of very young children at the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. The book was Sophia Valdez, Future Prez, and I'm going to be working with our library department to make sure that we have one in each one of our libraries. And if you have not read that book to your children, I highly recommend you do, because it's about a young girl who decides she wants something changed in her city and how she goes about doing that. And it really was just a lovely reminder of the hard work that we do here on council and what our community members can do, just given a little bit of effort. Next slide. I was honored to be joined by Councilwoman Mia Hall, Jeanette Martinez, and Councilmember Charlie Lauersdorf at this year's Carry the Load. We had over 60 people walking in the Fort Worth team this year, which was more than we've ever had. So to all the employees that showed up and walked, and specifically to the members of the Fort Worth Police Officers Association and the Fort Worth Firefighters Association for the work that they did, making sure that we had everything we needed for that particular event. Next slide. As Chris mentioned, we did recognize Mount Gilead. I was sweating in this picture, but it's not because I have an alleged demonic heart. It's because there was no AC, and we were all burning up in there in the last
for their last meeting. So it really was truly an honor to get to experience this historic building one last time. And just a little piece of Fort Worth history. When not all members of our community could use pools freely throughout the city, Mount Gilead Baptist Church had a pool in their basement for their members to swim. So they have been providing services for their community for a very long time. Next slide. June 11th through the 27th, if you haven't heard, there's a soccer tournament going on right now, and Fort Worth is incredibly excited about that. We have several events that'll be taking place around the city, and I would look to Sundance Square as one of the key points if you want to watch those games, because they will be doing live streaming in Sundance Square for all of the FIFA games. Next slide. If you're looking for something to do in the evening when it's a little cooler as the sun heats up, our Artisan Circle, which is down on West 7th, is hosting night markets June 13th, July 11th, and August 8th. It'll be local businesses, music, food, and drinks. Next slide. And last but not least, it is June, and June is Pride Month, and June 27th, Main Street is being taken over by Trinity Pride Fest from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. that evening. I hope that you will join us all in the Main Street corridor, South Main corridor for that event, and that's it.
Thank you, Councilmember Beck. Councilmember Martinez.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So please bear with me. We have a lot of events to catch up on. So we're going to start with our District 11 Town Hall, which took place on March 26th at the Stagecoach Ballroom. We had approximately 55 residents, but lots of staff. So I just really want to thank the departments that were there to that were on site to answer specific questions and provide one-on-one updates. Those departments were Fort Worth Code Compliance, Fort Worth Community and Public Engagement, City of Fort Worth Economic Development, Environmental Services, Fort Worth Lab, Fort Worth Police Department, Neighborhood Services, Office of Patrol Oversight Monitor, Parks and Rec, Transportation Public Works, Fort Worth Public Library, and we also had our regional transit partner, Trinity Metro, but we did have a few presentations, and these were identified by survey we provided to our constituents, and they wanted to hear from these three different departments. So we heard from our Transportation Public Works, Parks and Rec, and Economic Development. So thank you again. Next slide. On April 22nd, we celebrated Earth Day at Black Coffee. So for the past 3 years, we've hosted an environmental event. This year, we did it in April because the past 2 years, we had done our environmental event in June for World Environment Day, and we realized it's a lot hotter in June, so we did it in April. But I'm just really incredibly proud to share what we've accomplished together over that time. Collectively, we have safely disposed of over 16,500 pounds of hazardous waste, kept 68 pounds of medication out of our water system, and salvaged 750 pounds of materials to be repurposed. Next slide. May 7th and 8th, we attended and participated in 3 Career Day Expos, Trinity Basin on Pafford, Leadership Academy at Forest Oak, and Glen Park Elementary. So at the Career Expos, students had the opportunity to learn about different professions and career paths, and we were happy to be there and participate in and oversee some of the other presentations at those different schools. Next slide. So The Secret Language of Trees by Bal Nogues Studio, located at Riverside Park. This abstract pattern depicts the complex root system of the historic pecan grove remaining in the park. It is an incredible, whimsical, vibrant, and colorful piece. Next time you're in Riverside Park, I highly encourage you to go in person. And so we have a couple of transportation meetings coming up, district. So there's a railroad safety improvements for the Trinity Railway Express at Haltom Road. That's going to take place on June 15th, 6 p.m. This one is via WebEx, and we are also sharing this information on social media. And if you're registered for a newsletter, it's also included in there. Next slide. Another meeting is the Riverside, Oakhurst, and East Fort Worth water and sewer improvements. So that's taking place June 18th at 6 p.m. This will be in person at the Riverside Community Center. And so this is to update residents on upcoming cast iron water main and sewer main replacements. Next slide. Okay, the AM Pate Safe Routes to School project, that meeting is taking place June 22nd at 6 p.m. This one will be via WebEx and it's to update residents on upcoming construction aimed at improving pedestrian connectivity and safety. Next slide. So happy early Father's Day to all our dads, grandpas, uncles, and father figures. Our local community centers are hosting some great events to celebrate you. So Andrew Dock Sessions will be hosting their Father's Day breakfast on June 17th, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eugene McCrae Community Center is doing a Best Years Club Father's Day brunch on June 22nd, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And while not in D11, Handley is right across the road. They're going to be doing a Father's Day domino tournament, and that's June 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We also have a few Juneteenth celebrations that are happening in the district or that we've been invited to that you won't want to miss. So on Thursday, June 18th, there will be a Juneteenth celebration at the MLK Community Center from 9 a.m. to noon, and we are proud to help sponsor that event. On Friday, June 19th, the United Riverside Neighborhood Association will host a Juneteenth celebration at Luella Bales Baker Park from noon to 6. It's going to be a wonderful day featuring car shows, water activities, food, and plenty of family-friendly fun. And lastly, Soul of Sycamore, which you've already heard from Councilman Nettles. We were also very proud to help sponsor that event, and that's June 20th at Sycamore Park from noon to 6 p.m. So the lineup's going to start on Ayers at Foodland, and it's going to conclude at the park. Big lineup planned, including a parade, barbecue cook-off, activities for the kids, and live performances. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Jeanette. I think that's the end of our council presentations.
Mayor, that gets us to non-consent agenda speakers, and I believe we have one.
Thank you, Bob Willoughby.
Did we change some rules here? Because I was informed that these resolutions are independent. They stand independent from your consent and non-consent items. Now, are you combining all the resolutions with non-consent now? May I get an answer?
Got 3 minutes.
I want to make sure that I'm on a non-consent item. I want to see if I got through. Well, I still have to be able to speak on my non-consent item, or will I be using it up right now?
I think you're referring to your public hearing and zoning items and your non-consent items. And yes, you'll be able to speak on those.
So you're saying everything's non-consent. In other words, I only got 3 minutes period, right, for the night?
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's it. Okay. Well, I came prepared at least. That doesn't surprise me because I was told that resolutions are supposed to stand independently, 3 minutes, and I signed up for 6 of them, but we won't get all that time. That's Chris Jameson. They got on 6 boards. He signed up to 6 boards. I don't know who he is. Who in the God's Christian? Is he going to take your place when you leave, Mayor? Is that what he's working on here? I never seen anybody be part. House of Financing. Who is this guy? A Texas Motor Speedway. Who is this guy? Trinity River Vision. Who is this guy? Nonprofit, the benefit in the city of Fort Worth. My God. Look at this. Here he is again on the director of sports. I mean, when does he have time to live?
He also has time to get more than 57 votes, Bob.
Well, you know what? It doesn't tell you anything on the website about him. You go over there and try to find out who you got there. You don't tell us anything. So you don't tell us anything about the person. He's on here 6 times, and that's just, no one should be on here that many times. You know why? Because when you get on these boards, you get hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to manage here. And then when you do this, you get influences and you get favors done from people. So that when you run for office, kind of like when Jarrett was here, which is moving for a commissioner now. He was a council member, now he wants to be a commissioner. They use this as stepping stones. I want to get local voter education in school to teach people to be smart in this group because this is dumb to allow this to happen. 6 times, and there's nothing we can see. I was going to speak on each one of these. I was prepared for each one to talk about them, but I'm only going to have 3 minutes now. Also, there was a CCP at the end, and I was going to talk about it again there, but I can't use it because I'm using it up now. See, we used to have 3 minutes all the time, but Mayor Parker took that away. She took away the remote. Woman, You are a communist. That's all I can say. Thank you. That's all I can say. You just know. Piss anybody off. I tell you. Thank you very much for your time.
That gets us to item 26-5976, which is changes in memberships for board appointments for District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, I ask for your consideration to appoint the following individual to the respective board with a partial term effective June 9th, 2026 and ending October 1st, 2026. Jackie Tomlinson III for Park and Recreation Advisory Board.
Motion passes.
Motion carries.
Next item is 26-5973.
Got a motion and a second, council. Any other discussion? If not, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6033.
Got a motion and a second, council. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6036.
Motion and a second, council. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6037.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second, council. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6038.
A motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6039.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6040.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6034.
Got a motion and a second, council. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is 26-6035.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0459. Mayor, we have speakers.
Thank you. I've got first speaker is Bob Willoughby, followed by Adrian Smith. Is Mr. Willoughby here? Okay. Adrian Smith.
So this particular Mayor and Council Communication 26-0459. This is to conduct a public hearing to approve a total of $9,720,521 in amendments to the fiscal year 2026 Crime Control and Prevention District budget, CCPD. Now, for those who don't know what the CCPD budget is, it's a budget that encompasses our tax dollars outside of the annual budget that the police department already receives. This is a separate budget that they get to play out of. Now, I'm one on record who is never against law enforcement. I will never stand up here and say to defund law enforcement. We need law enforcement. Law enforcement is very important as relates to how our society is governed. However, the CCPD, I am standing saying that we should defund it or find another way to go about ensuring that whatever they are doing with this said money is more transparent, because we know our mission partners, that are supposed to partner with the police department to bring about crime. Crime control initiatives for our communities have been ineffective. But we continue to give money to various mission partners. You know, these individuals who come to the table at the behest of council members, because none of these people get funded unless a council member gives them their blessing. And I don't have to name any of them, but I do think that our mission partners, the money that they're receiving, it hasn't produced anything. What Bob spoke to earlier in regards to the VIP program is true. That was one of the mission partners that received over $800,000, which produced nothing for the communities that it was supposed to represent. So, Mayor Matty Parker and council, since you all are the board members for the CCPD, is there a way we could be more transparent or bring about something better for the people so we can know what's going on with this money, other than you all just rubber stamping everything like you always do? That's a question, Mr. Nettles, why you up there frowning your face up?
That's the conclusion of our speakers on this item. Oh, Councilor Nettles.
Keith, can you come up quickly? Not quickly, but can you come for a second? I have a question I want to ask you about the process and the transparency process that Mr. Adrian spoke about. If you can articulate the group that reviewed the applications and how it is submitted to the board of directors for the CCPD funding, and then also the review of once they receive the money, how they have to report back findings of what they have done with the money they receive.
Yes, sir. It's a labor-intensive process that we have for our agencies. They go through a process and application that requires multiple pages and attachments that they have to submit in through a website. And then we process those and go through a technical scoring process. They're reviewed with pages of feedback provided to an appointed advisory board that's appointed by this group to specifically to review and provide recommendations to the CCPD board of directors. And so there's a lengthy process, a lot of hands in the process, and we do everything we can for it to be transparent. And then on the back end, there are reporting requirements, both financially and programmatically, that are posted on our website, and then go through the pages of reports that we provide on our website.
Thank you for that explanation. And I want to remind those who are watching, what you see today, we're voting on this M&C or this resolution, but the work is done when we meet in work session and we talk about the individuals who apply for these. And so I encourage you to chime in on the work session, and you'll find more information about these companies or groups that we fund. So with that, Mayor, I want to motion to approve.
Thank you. I've got a motion and a second. Council, is there any other discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0506. And Mayor, we have 4 speakers.
Thank you. Our first speaker is Dylan Maroney, followed by Rusty Fuller.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. Thank you for having me. My name is Dylan Maroney. I'm the Director of Transportation for Tarrant County, and I just wanted to congratulate the city on putting together this very comprehensive and impressive document. So important to our relationship with the county, to the city, is the partnerships that we have on these different projects. Currently, we're spanning all over the county with you guys as our county seat in the top 10 city now, as the city of Fort Worth, on billions of dollars worth of projects. And having a plan towards those projects goes so much further for those dollars, for those projects that we're trying to deliver to the citizens of this city. So couldn't be more proud of this. I really dug into that document, and one of the key things that I found from it is the focus that it puts on building systems, not just project by project. It's a huge difference between that. We can chase our tails a lot on that stuff. So couldn't be more proud to work with you guys across different departments. Congratulations to the TPW team, Kelly and Lauren over there, and then your team over there with your city management team. So just happy to help, ready to plug in, and congratulations. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Rusty Fuller, followed by Victor Vandergriff.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Welcome, Councilman Jameson. I'm Rusty Fuller, and I was a member of the Community Advisory Committee for the development of the Master Transportation Plan, Corporate Safety Plan, or the Comprehensive Safety Plan, and the Comprehensive Plan overall. All that to say is I've had the opportunity to see how the development of the various plans have been built on one another, and they have. Tonight, you are voting on an excellent analysis that has incorporated the past effort of the Master Thoroughfare Plan and the Active Transportation Plan. The big difference that I am excited about is that there is an implementation strategy and plan to guide bond and annual spending. The guidelines are such that they provide flexibility to implement these strategies as this city evolves in ways that are yet to be imagined. It incorporates plans from surrounding cities and counties, again, to allow for growth depending on how it happens. TxDOT is tied into this plan. Finally, but not least, are the implementation of safer roads for drivers, for cyclists, and for pedestrians. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Victor Vandergriff, followed by Tara Crawford.
Apologize for being a little casual. I'm putting on a summit tomorrow, so we're a little busy, but I could not take the opportunity and not come here today to talk to you about this plan that you developed. Between Lauren, Kelly, and the entire staff, they've really put together a solid book and a path towards during the future. There's a lot of things yet to come, but it's a great start and a great finish to where this city, I think, will explode. And I'd like you to look at your neighbor. Again, I apologize for my voice talking too much today. I'd like to look at your neighbor to the east in a plan that was developed there 10 years ago that I had a hand in and commissioned that when I was on the Texas Department of Transportation. And in that plan, we laid out how that city could envision and move forward. And ironically, as sports teams and other things, City Hall are moving out, all around it, it's moving in. Just in the last couple of months, the second deck park got opened up. And just recently, the Canyon has received full funding. Those of you know, to the south, will correspond to the north and the two other freeways around it. It's amazing how they've restitched a community. And for you, I think the opportunity is that much better, not just restitch areas that are torn apart by roads or the river, but to put a community feel into downtown Fort Worth that will be something spectacular. So my congratulations to the staff and good luck in moving it forward.
Our next speaker is Tara Crawford.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Tara Crawford. I serve as Vice President of Planning for Trinity Metro, and I am here today in support of the city's first Master Transportation Plan and to recognize the outstanding partnership between the Transportation and Public Works Department and Trinity Metro. Over the years, TPW has been a trusted and proactive partner as we have worked together to advance our shared transportation priorities. That collaboration is reflected throughout this plan and aligns closely with the 10 priority transit mobility projects our organizations have jointly identified, including the Tex Rail extension to the near South Side Medical District area, the East Side Route 89 Rapid Transit Project, the Downtown Central Station High-Speed Rail Hub, the Stockyards Connectivity Improvements, the Berry and McCart Hub of Technology, or HOTT HOT, Corridor Capital Projects, the Bus Stop Improvement Program, and our work to advance innovative first and last mile connections. This plan strengthens regional coordination by aligning local investments with the work of Trinity Metro, NCT COG, TxDOT, and our regional partners. It improves access to transit through a complete network approach that connects people to jobs, education, healthcare, and other destinations. And importantly, it prioritizes safety by incorporating safer street designs, crossings, and transit access improvements that benefit both riders and transit employees. The Master Transportation Plan provides a strong framework for delivering the transportation system our growing city needs, and Trinity Metro looks forward to continuing our partnership with TPW as these projects move from planning to implementation. Thank you, and we really do enjoy working with Kelly and Lauren and the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Council, that's the conclusion of our speakers on this item. I see Lauren Prier there at the back. Kelly Porter is here in the middle. Either one of you want to say anything about your hard work on this project? I'm both, oh, Kelly's going to stand up. Come on down, Kelly.
Some will tell you that I actually started the plan before I got here because I interviewed on it, how I would approach this. But I do want to say that I appreciate all of our partners over the last couple of years getting us to this performance-based plan and capital program. It really is going to be a path forward and a roadmap for implementation. I just showed Victor and the team the 5-inch binder of all the projects now that we have developed as part of this process. I also want to state that this wasn't just a Kelly Porter and Laura Prier thing. This really was a full TPW process. Every single division put their time into reviewing the plan, providing funding for some of the work. This was really all hands on deck, and we really was a one team, one Fort Worth effort, and I really want to thank y'all for allowing us to do this type of work.
Thank you, Kelly. If you worked on this plan, do you mind standing up in the audience? There's several of you still here tonight. Don't be shy.
There's quite a few people,
There are.
Rusty,
I can
Kelly,
see them. Yeah, please.
Evan, Victor, so, yeah.
Just know that your hard work does not go unrecognized by this body. Every council member has been incredibly impressed by your hard work, Kelly, and congratulations to you and the entire team.
Thank you.
Council Member Beck and then Council Member Peoples.
Kelly, Lauren, and all the TPW staff, thank you for this tremendous amount of work. I know a thing or two about putting together a transportation plan. I've done one or two in the course of my life, and I don't ever want to do them again, so thank you for doing that because it is not an easy job. It's tedious work. There's a lot of push and pull, and I have been so impressed by what I've seen you put forward, not just a plan for us to dream by, but a plan for us to implement, so thank you for that. And with that, I enthusiastically move to approve.
Thank you. Councilmember Peoples.
So, Kelly and Lauren and TPW, I think you know that great teams operate in the moment and fix things, but extraordinary teams have vision. And what you all have put together is clearly visionary. And I cannot tell you enough about how excited I am about what you've done. And since Councilmember Beck stole the words out of my mouth that she moved to improve, I proudly second that motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion from council? Councilmember Flores, you're good?
I just wanted to say again, ad nauseum, thanks again, Kelly, Lauren, your team for doing that. I know not you work with council members, but also with community stakeholders, which I appreciate because a lot of my folks did have some good input.
Thank you. Got a motion on the floor and a second. Please vote. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Council, as a reminder, ZC 25-184 and 205 were continued to December 8th. That gets us to ZC-25-185. And Mayor, I believe we have one speaker.
I think three maybe. Yeah, Joseph Pasanisi. Joseph, are you here? You can correct my. Okay, thank you, Joseph. And Joseph will be followed by Kent De Cardenas.
Madam Mayor, Councilman, and ladies, thank you all very much for giving us another opportunity to talk about this. We are asking for a CUP for a zoning on a piece of property there off of Dean Road. We're wanting to take a small portion of a 28-acre tract and turn it into a area where we can do a permanent batch plant. With all the growth and everything going on in the area, we feel that this is a perfect opportunity for a location. It's right there off of the rail track. It is in this area that's already zoned for it. We just have to have a CUP for it. We've met with staff. We've talked with all the different elements of it. I've met with the council member, or we've spoke on the phone, not actually met, but we've talked on the phone. We've agreed to add extra trees and to make sure that we put up a privacy fence around the sides of it that would be facing the community on the 4-acre, and then we would still have the remainder of the 28-acre around it. Again, this is a allowed use in that area, and we are doing everything we can to help make sure that it is not an eyesore. And we're looking at doing trees even around the perimeter of the 28-acre to help add an additional buffer on the side where the school is at, as well as the stuff along the Dean Road. And I'm available for any questions or comments.
It's Kent De Cardenas. And Kent will be followed by Adrian Smith.
If I were to write a sarcastic comedy skit about a city and commenting on a racist approach to development, it would be what we're looking at right now. Talking about putting a concrete batch plant on the site of a fertilizer plant that is right next to a school that has just been renamed Esperanza, I think really says a lot about Fort Worth and Fort Worth ISD. I looked at the map, I pulled the lines. I'm sure that the city has done due diligence and seen that the plant does meet the minimum of being 1/4 of a mile away from the school, but I think we as a city could do better than that. And if this does get passed, I would encourage the owner of the property, the developer, the business owner, to go above and beyond what is necessary to mitigate any pollution, to mitigate any ill effects of the neighboring residential community as well as the school, because you may have a very profitable business with this concrete batch plant, but it will not be the customers who are paying the bill. It will be the children and their future medical issues that will be paying the bill. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Adrian Smith.
When representation no longer represents you, what do you do? When the livelihoods of many are placed in jeopardy for the very thing that holds no true value, what do you do? I don't have all of the answers for some of the things that my mind ponders at times, but I have lived long enough to know that not doing anything isn't the answer. To the people of District 2, it is high past time that you reevaluate the representation that's been. as it relates to your livelihoods. Far too many developers and business interests have been given favorable concessions against the better good of your livelihoods. Thus, why now you are faced with urgent danger concerning the God-given air you breathe freely. The God-given air we all breathe freely. There's no price tag on that. It's free. God gave us that. Oh, in case I forget. Oh, and the children of the elementary school who will be on the direct path of this disgusting, life-altering concrete batch plant. May you reach the full potential and life that life intends for you. Mr. Flores, we visited this maybe a council meeting 1 or 2 back. You made it a point to remind me, I'll say me, because I'm the only one who got up to speak in opposition against this. You made a point to remind me of the distance that the school is from this particular location. But Mr. Flores, one thing you did not speak on was the importance of how the air moves and operates. And you know what? No one can speak on that. Even the Bible tells us that no one could understand how the air moves and operates, the wind, et cetera. No one knows. But one thing for sure, Mr. Flores, the wind, when it blows, it blows. It blows in every direction. And with this concrete batch plant, sir, and all of the nasty, disgusting things that will come from it, it's going to blow into that community, sir, surrounding community. And those children, when they're on the playground trying to enjoy themselves, just being kids, just being innocent, and just trying to enjoy life, what will happen to their little bodies, when they take on these elements? No one knows. No one knows. So, Mr. Flores, yes, this is a plea to the...
It's the last of our speakers. Councilmember Flores.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to say that District 2 residents have been well informed by myself and staff on the particulars of this proposal. At the regular meetings, they have communicated with both staff and myself and made their concerns known to me. Let me say in short that I move to deny ZZ 25185 because I believe a permanent batch plant is not compatible at this particular location, given its immediate adjacency to residential and an elementary school.
Got a motion and a second, council. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-009.
Councilmember Nettles.
All right. The applicant is here. Come on. We continue this case for 30 days. If you can kind of just articulate, I know I do have the letter from Glenn Cress, but if you can kind of articulate the project and the businesses that are going to come to, that you're looking to come to this area with your development.
All right. It's rental property that I'm putting up.
Yes, sir.
But the first rental that I have for the company is gonna be a adult rehab, family, adult care, daycare center, and kids educational center.
Okay, so I did have the zoning recommendation from Glenn Cress, and I believe when I looked at the amend PD, all the uses that Glenn Cress has requested not to be used, I think daycare was one of them, but then they said they would change that. So I'm going to motion to approve. Thank you for coming down today.
Got a motion on the floor. A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-015. Mayor, we have two speakers.
We have two speakers on this item. Our first is Cesar Gonzalez, followed by Charlotte Tobias.
As forward undergoes a period of rapid expansion, it is important that our land use policies reflect a commitment to flexible urban development. I believe the transition to B zoning offers substantial benefit for both the community and the city at large. Expanding affordable housing options allows residents of various socioeconomic backgrounds to access desirable areas of the city without displacing existing residents at a time when options are urgently needed. Let me show you a demographic landscape of the neighborhood. It is a two-block neighborhood sandwiched between commercial zoning. It's not your typical neighborhood. The proposed lot is in the center of the page where the white star is. The area in white is warehouse space, warehouses, many with outside storage. The area in purple is 18-wheeler parking. The area in red is a bar and nightclub. The area in blue is Trinity Water Treatment Facility. The orange area is a cellular antenna tower. In this two-block neighborhood, there's mostly AG with some A5 and even R1 zoning. I calculate there are 17 rentals. I got this number by seeing that the owner contact address is different than the house address. Page 2. On the same street as proposed area, there is mostly older homes from the 1950s with gravel driveways and two unlivable houses and even a mobile home. And there's a lot with two detached houses on it. And there's 3 new duplexes and 2 houses with 5-foot backyards and on small lots. I own the house south of the proposed lot. On the other street behind me, there's a mechanic shop, and the rest of the homes are Habitat for Humanity. We all know how they look. In conclusion, this area has long been intended to fulfill the housing needs of Fort Worth residents. I think that these duplexes will offer just that in an area that won't be negatively impacted, giving the area a positive contribution, making this small neighborhood more desirable to live in. While I don't think duplexes in any neighborhood is positive, in this neighborhood it is. I've seen it firsthand with the new duplexes already there, giving the area long-needed gentrification. I think that the zoning commission's unanimous recommendation of approval is reasonable. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Parker, and to my representative, Ms. Deborah Peoples. I live in that community, and no, we don't want those. And we're more than a 2-block, okay? So I've lived there all my life, and that's just not acceptable. We've always been left out in the cold about everything that we need to do in that community. We have fought like hell to get what we have. And I am here also on behalf of my own property that the city keeps harassing me about. I'm the one that's on George Court that's at the end of the street that they keep coming by because the water department that's right next door to me wants to take my property. And I'm not giving it. If they want my property, $3 million. If you can't come up with $3 million, leave me alone. Okay? Now, city came out on Friday. I have a Volvo that I am in the process of repairing. He told me if I didn't move it in 30 days that it would be towed away. Well, if you have to come to my house, you have to come down both of those streets. Most of the people on those streets have more than 3 or 4 cars that are not operable. But you're gonna come all the way down to the end of the street to my property to tell me that you're gonna do this, that, and the other for mine because the water department needs a place to put more equipment. My parents bought that piece of land for $2,000 in 1955. So it's been over 71 years. And I, as their youngest child of 9, am not willing to give the city or anybody else anything. My parents fought, bled, and died for that piece of property, and it's gonna stay in the Tobias family. So if the city would stop harassing me and leave me alone, we'll be okay. But we do not want those duplexes, and no, we don't need them, and yes, we are bigger than a 2-street that he just described.
Councilmember Peoples, that's the last of our speakers on this item.
So, thank you, Mayor. So let me just say that the reason we delayed this case was to give the applicant a chance, Mr. Gonzalez, a chance to meet with the community and the residents who live there, and that has not happened. And I would also tell you that Mr. Gonzalez just made my case for me. Just because an area appears one way doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. We are working hard with the residents of Mosier Valley to improve the quality of this historic community, the lives of the residents there. And I would tell you, Mr. Gonzalez, I mean, your comment that the homes that are there, that's just how they look. We all know how they look. No, we don't. There are many proud residents in that community who have property and they take care of their property and they want better. They want to see more houses that are there, single-family houses. And so our city staff who are very competent and wonderful said, the land use compatibility, the request change is not compatible. The comprehensive plan map consistently, the request change is not consistent. The comprehensive plan map policy consistency, the requested change is not consistent. Our staff that I trust recommended denial, and so I'm going to move that we deny this request.
Got a motion and a second. Council, any other discussion? Please vote. Motion to deny passes.
Next is ZC-26-017.
We have one speaker on this item, Councilmember Councilmember Hall, but I believe you're continuing this item.
Yes, Mayor, I did have an opportunity to speak with the applicant, and so I would like to make a motion to continue ZC 26017 into the August 11th zoning meeting.
Got a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-040.
We have one speaker on this item, Dr. Hall, and to my knowledge, there is no opposition.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve ZC 26040.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-039.
Councilmember Flores, we have one speaker only if there's opposition. To my knowledge, there is none.
Thank you, Mayor. On case ZZ 26039, I make a motion to approve as amended by the Zoning Commission.
Motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is SP-26-006.
We have no speakers on this item. Councilmember Jameson.
Letters of approval from North Fort Worth Alliance and the Beechwood Creeks HOA, and with approval from city staff and by a vote of 10 to 0 and support from Zoning Commission, I move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-25-206.
Councilmember Martinez, we have one speaker on this item. Only is opposition. To my knowledge, there is none.
Thank you, Mayor. So I am actually excited about this development, not only because it is going to be developing a vacant lot, but it's going to be mitigating the issues that can occur with vacant lots or with absentee property owners. So this development will bring jobs, food and beverage option, and it will be a catalyst for future improvement. So I will be upholding the Zoning Commission's recommendation and motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-013.
Councilmember Flores, we have two speakers on this item. No opposition to my knowledge.
All right, thank you, Mayor. On case CZ 26-013, motion to approve enthusiastically, and I also wish continued success to the OSDA team.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-048.
Councilmember Nettles, we have 4 speakers on this item. The first is Brandon Ostermeyer, followed by Stephen Epstein.
Hello, I'm Brandon Osmeyer. I'm with Quick Trip. I'm a real estate project manager. What we're proposing next to our existing Quick Trip is a bubble bath car wash. It's an extension of what Quick Trip already is. I hit the wrong button here. Sorry about that. Part of what bubble bath we do here is we're going to serve the community, the next generation, and we support our neighbors, protecting our planet as best we can with any sort of car wash. Each one of these locations will create 15 well-paying jobs for the community, and with Quick Trip, we promote within 90% of our people are promoted from store level, from high school at 16 years old, all the way up into construction, real estate, and IT. Bubble Bath commits to 100% of the retail profits from the grand opening weekend to a local charity, which we can work out with the community at any time. We also work with local officials, continuing to help serving the community as we go. All locations have the latest water reclamation systems and recycling system. We'd reduce water usage 14 to 22 gallons per freshwater vehicle. The average home uses about 116 gallons washing the car at the house, and that's under 20 minutes. Reclaimed water is used to lubricate brushes and rinse the vehicles. We're proud to use biodegradable soaps and waxes provided by National Car Wash Solutions. The blowers do not stay on for the duration of the workday. They only operate when there's a car at the end that needs to be dried. We close when the sun goes down, as our customers don't wash at night. We enclose our dryers in the building to reduce noise pollution also, and we are less than 80 decibels at the street. We did go to some of the people from the P&Z that had opposition to us directly behind us. We're able to get one person's support directly behind us, and then talk to 2 people that were opposed to us, and actually show them what we were wanting to do, and go from there and get their letter of support actually coming into the council here. On top of that, we did go through and work with the manager at our local Quick Trip and go around and receive 63 other letters of support in the community, in the neighborhood. This is the basic site plan of what we've got proposing here. We did take from the P&Z, and from talking to the residents, we're going to add an 8-foot stone wall in the back and add additional landscaping. Oops, go back here. Additional landscaping back there to block any of the stuff and the vacuums from the neighborhood right there. I want to take the time and thank everybody. You can kind of see what the proposed look like here is for our building, and appreciate everybody and Mr. Nettles Pastor Nettles for meeting with us, and everybody here, council members and the mayor, for taking their time tonight.
Councilor Nettles, our next speaker is Stephen Epstein, followed by Amelia Wheeler.
My name is Steve Epstein. I'm from the Hallmark Camelot Highland Terrace Neighborhood Association, but I have the opportunity tonight to speak for the mayor and the City Secretary, Mayor Bartley and City Secretary Gamboa, who are here. Unfortunately, they missed the deadline for speaking. They wanted to speak on behalf of their city, but they weren't able to. I asked them what points they wanted me to make, and they're very concerned about the noise level that is facing the residents. They also appreciated the city staff report done that recommends denial of this request because it's an incompatible use and it doesn't meet the comprehensive plan. In addition, they did their research and found, they talked to a car wash owner in our area on Sycamore School Road, and he said to them that sales tax, he does not pay sales taxes. And we would hope in our area, our city needs revenue. We would like we support commercial development, but we would like a business that's gonna provide sales tax revenue to our city to help us and not harm the residents. And we fully support the city staff report that was done in an excellent manner. And my neighbor, president of our neighborhood association, is gonna be speaking next, so I'll stop now.
Our next speaker is Amelia Wheeler, followed by Adrian Smith.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Amelia Wheeler. I am the president of the Hallmark Camelot Highland Terrace Neighborhood Association. I'm speaking on behalf of the association in opposition to ZC 26048. Our association has engaged extensively with the applicant. We met with Quick Trip representatives, held special neighborhood meeting, provided residents an opportunity to ask questions directly of the applicant. Following that process, the association voted unanimously to oppose this rezoning request. The question before council is not whether Quick Trip is a good operator. The question is whether a high-intensity commercial car wash is appropriate at this specific location. City staff reviewed this proposal and recommended denial based on incompatibility with adjacent residential uses and inconsistency with the city's comprehensive plan. That conclusion is grounded in land use relationship and proximity, not preference. The record reflects homes approximately 50 feet from the site, more than 20 homes within 300 feet, and adjacency to a nearby K-12 school environment. These are precisely the conditions the comprehensive plan is intended to protect against incompatible encroachment. The Zoning Commission's recommendation, however, placed significant weight on existing corridor traffic, projected economic benefits, and the idea that standard buffering can adequately address impacts. While those factors are part of the discussion, they do not resolve the central zoning question, whether this high-intensity use is compatible when placed immediately adjacent to established residential neighborhoods and schools. Traffic volume on a roadway does not by itself determine compatibility under the city's adopted planning framework, nor does economic activity override those compatibility standards. The comprehensive plan establishes clear protections for residential adjacency, and those protections are not displaced by corridor activity or projected economic benefit. The applicant's proposed mitigation, landscaping, setbacks, and typical buffering does not address the fundamental issue identified by staff: continuous noise and activity generated by a high-volume car wash and vacuum operation directly adjacent to residential property and a nearby school environment. These are not incidental impacts. They are defining operational characteristics of the use. We ask council to be cautious about treating intensity as inevitability. The fact that traffic exists on a roadway is not the same as concluding that any additional high-intensity use adjacent to homes is appropriate. The question is not whether growth is occurring, but whether this specific use is appropriately cited given its immediate impacts. Council denied a similar car wash proposal for the same site in 2021 with ZC 21146, and the considerations have not substantially changed. We also note that the most directly affected residents include households in Edgecliff Village, including properties that directly back up to the site. Their objections reflect consistent concern about adjacency and livability impacts across municipality boundaries. This is not opposition to Quick Trip as a company, nor to development in general. As my cohort Steve said, we are in favor of commercial development that is allowed by right under the existing zoning. Thank you.
Councilor Nettles, that's the conclusion of our speakers on this item.
Hold it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Adrian. Can't wait.
I will begin by starting off with good neighbor versus bad neighbor. And when I say good neighbor versus bad neighbor, the first company I think of is Walmart and how it started, how Walmart started off small, but when Walmart became super, it moved in communities and pushed smaller businesses out of business because of its size and what it had to offer. Fast forward to the present day, Quick Trip. Do I consider Quick Trip a bad neighbor? I would say, no, I just say it's a thin line with that question. But Quick Trip operates the same way. It typically moves in areas that already have service stations operating for a particular community, takes over a great land mass, and boom, the service stations that are already there, have been there for years, are typically pushed out of business. I say that to say this. Regardless of how the zoning commission votes, whether for or against an item, you all, remember the council has the final say. So don't get hung up on how the zoning commission votes. The council has the final say. Now, Quick Trip wants to put a car wash in this particular location that's will be right next to its store. You know what's right across from Quick Trip at this particular location? B&K Car Wash. There's already a car wash at the intersection. Already a car wash at that intersection in walking distance at this proposed site. You know what else is in that area? White Washer Express Car Wash. It's to the south at 2100 Sycamore School Road. There's 2 car washes. You know what else is in this location, in this area, particular area? Shammy's Car Wash. It's to the southwest at 7200 McCart Avenue. So that's a total of 3 car washes already influxed into one community. Now, this typically happens in Black and brown communities, you know, where the zoning is lax, so a person could bring a business into a community and operate it without no restrictions. Case in point, if I have a dry cleaners and I'm serving my community, guess what you can do? You can bring a dry cleaner and put it right across the street from my dry cleaner because the zoning is so lax. That typically happens in Black and brown communities. It doesn't happen in communities of affluence. Quick Trip, I don't think this is a good place for this car wash. We already had 3 car washes in that area. Please deny with prejudice. Thank you.
Councilor Nettles, that's the conclusion of our speakers.
Thank you. I want to talk to a few things. Thank you, Adrian. Good points. I think you should run for council one day and help us out up here. I want to talk a little bit about this zoning case, and there's a couple of things that I'm dealing with here. It's because I have worked with a Hallmark Neighborhood Association, and I was here in 2021 when we did deny that car wash. And times were different. At that time, we have not adapted a policy over automatic car washes at that time, as well as it was an individual user who was bringing a car wash. And so we did deny that in preparation to make sure that we can put some things into place to protect residents from automatic car washes. And so I do remember when we did do that. Here today we have a Quick Trip who has been on that corner for I think some of 20 plus years operating their gas station. And I have worked extensively with the charter school next door to the car wash. And we have worked with our NPO because we have had a lot of people coming over to QT. We haven't had the security that we need. And so at this time, the charter school has also are in favor of this to allow QT to expand and take more ownership of the land to bring more protection to that area. Also, I have had opportunity to go and look at, I believe this has happened in District 2. Carlos Flores has a QT with a bubble bath car wash to it. Had opportunity to look at that as well to see how it can affect a neighborhood. Now, as it relates to Hallmark, there is an extensive buffer to the car wash cross Alta Mesa land before you actually get into the neighborhood association. One of the issues that came up was Edgecliff neighborhood, and I have 3 letters here from Edgecliff backing up to the neighborhood saying they are not opposed of the car wash. And so, along with 63 letters. And so I believe that QT has been good neighbors and that they are a company that believe investing back into the communities. And so today I am going to support the zoning commission recommendation and motion to approve for ZC 26048.
Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-049.
We have one speaker on this item, Dr. Hall, Abby Sunmunu, and I believe there is no opposition.
All right, Mayor, in regards to case number ZC 26049, I'm recommending for approval.
Got a motion and a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-052.
Councilmember Jameson, we have one speaker on this item, Joe LaCroix, and there's no opposition.
Enthusiastically, I move to approve.
Got a motion and a second, council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-053.
We have one speaker on this item, Councilmember Nettles, Ray Ojeski, only if there's opposition.
Oh, I don't think he's here. I did speak with him. We're going to continue this case for 6 days until August the 11th.
Motion and a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-054.
Councilmember Flores, we have two speakers on this item. Don't believe there's any opposition.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I make my motion, I want to cover some ground that I think is necessary contextually. I know that I've spoken to my fellow council members on this. This is a first of its kind proposal in the stockyards, but not surprising that we need this kind of use. It's for structured parking. Design and use were carefully considered and discussed for several weeks, in fact. Stockyards is experiencing tremendous success, and with more than 10 million visitors each year, they need a place to park. I want to acknowledge the participation and hard work by the members of our city team, development and historic preservation staff, Fort Worth Stockyards, Inc. I believe Paul Payne is here in the audience today. Thank you, Paul, for attending. Kirby Smith's leadership on the SI. The Letty's family and their ongoing commitment to the success of the stockyards. Shannon Bearden and Dunaway and Associates, Susan Medina, and the stockyard stakeholders who gave their insightful and useful input during these conversations. Going forward, because of the rapid growth in stockyards, I have asked Fort Worth Stockyards, Inc. to begin the work of identifying and prioritizing items in the stockyards form-based code that will require now updating in collaboration with city staff and a to-be-determined form-based code consultant. Now, I want to be mindful of Paul being here. I want to give him the opportunity to say a brief comment, if you would like, Paul. I'll give you that opportunity.
Good evening, Mayor, council members.
Pull the mic up closer to you, Paul.
Test.
There you go.
Mayor, council members, thank you. Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Flores, thank you for your leadership. And I just wanted to say that we did spend a lot of time discussing this issue. It was brought to my board There was a denial that first came up by my board. It was concerned with form and function. A lot had to do with height and scale. There was a request for Mayor Pro Tem to hold a meeting at at City Hall, and that was honored. There was a good discussion with the owners and Dunaway, the architect firm. I think it was over 2 hours. Good, a lot of dialogue. Question of the applicant, would they consider reducing the height, the top floor, 36 spaces, and what that could do? They came back and reported 2 days later that the engineering could be done, but financially it would kill the deal. So that was brought back to my whole board through my Kirby Smith, our chair, and we had 12 votes in support of the project. So I just wanted to lay out the facts that Stockyard Inc. was very much engaged in following and tracking this. There has been a lot of support from the open house meeting that they had for the use, but there was quite a bit of discussion on that form and function. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you, Paul. With that, I make a motion to approve the Franklin Letty structured parking garage with commercial use on the ground floor.
Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-07.
We have no speakers on this item, Council. Okay, Councilmember Beck.
I move to approve ZC 26-057 with the following amendments. Amend section 5.159 subsection C to require sites of 1 acre or larger zoned E, neighborhood commercial, or ER, neighborhood commercial restricted, to comply with the urban forestry requirements in section 6.302 of the zoning ordinance, and amend section 5.159 and the exhibit appendices to 1, remove all references to land use survey and replace with adjacent land use map, and 2, replace the existing language under land use survey with the following language. As part of the submission of a permit application, the applicant shall submit a map showing all land uses and businesses located within 1,000 feet of the proposed mixed-use residential or multifamily residential development.
Got a motion and a second, Council. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-26-058.
We have no speakers on this item, Council. Motion and a second, Council. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0454.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0475.
Councilmember Hill.
I move that the Fort Worth City Council adopt the resolution authorizing use of the power of eminent domain to acquire 1,355 square feet of temporary construction easement rights from Barry G. Caldwell, owner of property located at 2321 Ashland Avenue, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being part of lots B and C, Block 12, Hillcrest Addition, an addition in the City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and 825 square feet of temporary construction easement rights from Jace Joseph Jackson and Laura Kate Jackson, owners of the property located at 2316 Tremont Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being part of lots D and F, Block 12 of Hillcrest Addition, in addition to the City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas. The land rights and the subject properties are needed for public use. The El Campo and Ashland Storm Drain Relocation Project, which will require additional temporary construction areas to properly grout and abandon the existing deteriorated storm drain pipe. The property interests to be acquired are described by meets and bounds and depicted by survey exhibits attached to this mayor and council communication. The first record vote applies to all units of the property to be condemned, and the minutes shall reflect that the first vote applies to all units.
A motion and a second, council. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0477.
Councilmember Jameson.
I move that Fort Worth City Council adopt the resolution authorizing the use of the power of eminent domain to acquire 178,456 square feet and permanent water main easement rights and 299,548 square feet for temporary construction easement rights from real property owned by Knox Street Partners, number 13, LTD, owners of property located at the southeast corner of Blue Mound Road West and Hicks Avondale School Road and along the south side of Blue Mound Road West, approximately 160 feet west of Holson Trail, City of the Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, and the Memphis, El Paso, and Pacific Railroad Survey, abstract number 1111, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Wellington Homeowners Association, owners of the property located at 1533 Stowers Trail, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, being Lot 1X, Block 16 of the Wellington Addition, in addition to the City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Priscilla Patsy Porter Speed, Jarvis H. Porter, Mary Sue Rabe, and Joe Whiteley Wilder, Sr., trustee of the Joe Whitley Wilder Sr. and Ann Porter Wildley Family Trust, as created under the last will and testament of Ann Porter Wilder, owners of property located at 11996 Willow Springs Road, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Houston Cobart Salvage Auto Auctions Limited Partnership, owners of property located at 1000 and 1020 Blue Mound Road, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas. RDS Opportunity Fund, LLC, owners of the property located at 880 Blue Mound Road, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Houston Cobart Salvage Auto Auctions Limited Partnership, owners of property located at 841 Blue Mound Road, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract 1268, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Keith Sturgeon, owner of the property located at 834 Blue Mound Road, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Jarvis Porter, Ann Porter Wilder, Mary Sue Porter Rabe, Mary S. Porter Rabe, and Priscilla Jane Porter Speed, owners of the property located at 820 Blue Mound Road West, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and HPC Wellington North Development Corporation, owner of the property located at the northwest corner of Saybright Trail and Holson Trail, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, and the Memphis El Paso Pacific Rail Survey, abstract number 1111, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Ron Sturgeon Real Estate LP, owner of the property located at 850 Blue Mound Road, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being situated in the James Riley Survey, abstract number 1268, City of the Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and Northside 3 54-inch water transmission main. Phase 4 project will move potable water from the Eagle Mountain Water Treatment Plant to our retail customers in North Fort Worth, as well as wholesale water customers that border the northern city limits. Timely completion of this project is necessary to improve the water system reliability and support continued growth. The property interest to be acquired is described by meets and bounds and depicted by survey exhibits attached to this mayor and council communication. The first record vote applies to all units of the property to be condemned, and the minute shall reflect the first vote applies to all units.
Good job, Chris. You didn't need to read all that. That was just, they were punking you for your first eminent domain. Yeah,
You only needed to read the first paragraph.
Okay, well,
I'm just kidding. I'm
now
just
we're there.
kidding. But good luck. You did a good job.
A motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0479.
Councilmember Peoples?
Started. Chris, Macy and I's weren't that long, so they were. There was a right of initiation. But Mayor and Council, I move that the Fort Worth City Council adopt the resolution authorizing use of the power of eminent domain to acquire 475 square feet of permanent sanitary sewer easement rights owned by Maria Rojero, owner of the property located at 4604 Burton Avenue, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being part of Lot 10, Block 7 of the Edgewood Terrace Addition, an addition in the City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and 469 square feet of permanent sanitary sewer easement rights owned by Home Your Way LLC, owners of property located at 4600 Burton Avenue, City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, and being part of Lot 9, Block 7 of the Edgewood Terrace Addition, an addition to the City of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas. The land rights in the subject properties are needed for a public use for the 2022 bond year one contract for project to replace sanitary sewer main L 4508 located between Edgewood Terrace and Crouch Avenue from Burton Avenue to East Berry Street. The proposed sewer line will replace an existing deteriorated 8-inch clay pipe that currently runs beneath the building. The required easements will allow for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the sewer line. The property interests to be acquired are described by meets and bounds and depicted by survey exhibits attached to this mayor and council communication. The first record vote applies to all units of property to be condemned, and the minutes shall reflect that the first vote applies to all units.
Got a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0463.
Councilmember Hill?
First of all, I want to thank Matt Homan, Matt Carter. I saw some members of the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo and the Will Rogers Coliseum. Thank you so much for your work on this qualified management agreement. I look forward to it. I know it's going to be as successful as the Fort Worth Zoo, Botanic Gardens, and the Cowtown Coliseum. And city staff, y'all been working on this, I think, since 2019. So thank you so much for your hard work on this as well. Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Council, please vote. Councilmember Peoples?
I thought we were going to have a presentation on this. Did I miss it?
We did last week.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other discussion from council? If not, please vote. Deborah, I think you got to vote.
I know.
Okay,
I'm-
thank you.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Next is MNC 26-0489.
Councilmember Flores.
Move to approve.
A motion and a second. Motion carries.
Mayor and Council, that concludes the action items and gets us to public comment.
Thank you. Our first speaker is David Rodriguez, followed by Emily Dial.
All right, so I'm going to be speaking in regards to the data center that's proposed. I know it's been moved to December 8th, but either way, I think it still needs to be discussed. So the world becomes a better place when people plant trees whose shade they know that they will never sit in. And if there's ever a definition of what you would consider a native Texan, I mean, I feel like trees pretty much fit the bill. They've been here for way longer than we have, and they actively have been influenced and influence the actual environment of which we live in right now. However, the same cannot be said for data centers. Data centers are inert. They actively cause the destruction of the land, and any resource that trees could provide, data centers essentially create value out of thin air and just trickle it upwards to a couple of billionaires. Now, on that June 2nd meeting where y'all got all the information, I kept hearing this rhetoric about y'all are trying to do what's best for the community. Y'all are trying to figure out the safest ways to approach the environmental regulations. And it's all a balancing act, except that, as I stated before, one side of this pendulum is weighted for an immense amount of money to be made for Mr. Rhett Bennett, while communities of color and communities that have come out and actively spoken out against this and I've told y'all that they don't want these data centers. Instead, y'all just go, well, I mean, your kids might get asthma. Okay, well, we'll make that decision, all right? So, and along this line, my concern is that really, should I even bother speaking to y'all? Should I be speaking to y'all or should I be speaking to Rep Bennett? Because he spent $46,000 on y'all. I'm sorry that I cannot give you half of my yearly salary to try and influence y'all's behavior. All I can do is show up as a member and a constituent of the people to voice my concerns. So, and really, quite frankly, I don't want to, and I know like a big concern is that y'all don't have the legal authority to do anything, but Mr. Carlos Flores, whenever Cesar Chavez, you got those sign toppers knocked down, you acted extrajudicially. You listened to the people today that they didn't want this concrete plant by an elementary school, and you agreed with them. So let me see some of that heat for this data center. In the same action, again, someone else today voted to deny that duplex, or Ms. Deborah Peoples, you voted to deny the duplex. I want to see some of that heat for this data center. Because quite frankly, if you 8 members are not going to vote or abstain, and you're just going to allow yourselves to collect all of this money, you will show that Fort Worth is not a democracy, but is in fact a plutocracy, a government for the wealthy.
Our next speaker is Emily Dial. Emily will be followed by Christy Krager.
I'm also here to talk about the data center moratorium. I understand that y'all are not the sole authority for the energy grid, air quality, and utilities, but you are responsible for the consequences accrued by allowing the data centers into our community. We don't want best-in-class developments if best-in-class is still a net negative. First, Ms. Beck made a great point and was absolutely right to question why we're offering them tax incentives in the first place. Would property taxes be included? How do incentives factor into the projected data center revenue? We've been provided the gross property tax revenue, but what is the net revenue after incentives, upfront investments, and other costs to the community are factored in? I'll skip the overproliferation or overbuilt infrastructure, except to say that those are very real concerns that need to be thoroughly evaluated and addressed. And the current proposals, I feel, are not sufficient to address those problems. Noise pollution is already a problem in Fort Worth, one we can all admit is not perfectly enforced. How can we trust that you will enforce those regulations on data centers? Data centers across the country are brazenly defying environmental laws. Our legislature and the regulatory bodies cited at the working meeting are responsible for many of our concerns, don't have the capacity to hold data centers accountable. TCEQ has 10-year-old enforcement cases, 10 years of you and your children breathing NOx and breathing PM 2.5. These don't leave the atmosphere. They infect our already poor air quality. Have you taken into account the rise in healthcare costs that will result in the community? It's not just local regulation that's behind, it's the entire states. A moratorium isn't the cause of overdue regulations. Allowing the development of multiple data centers across the state without regulating them is why we have overdue regulations. I also would like to push back on the inevitable regional data center development brought up during the working meeting. The groundswell of public outcry, the growing environmental concerns as we learn more about their impact, the resource strains across the country, these aren't signs of inevitability. Our land is finite. Our energy is finite. Our air is finite. Our lives are finite. We do not have enough information to meaningfully regulate these data centers, let alone enforce compliance from a local or state level. Look at what Starlink pulled in Abilene, the small first, big later approach. There is no recourse for us as now. We need a moratorium precisely for this reason.
Christy Kreger, followed by Bob Willoughby. Christy Kreger, followed by Bob Willoughby.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Eric Krieger. My wife is Christy. I'm here as a proxy for Conley Brewer, and he has asked, or I believe he has a video that needs to be shown, or he would like to be shown.
Mayor and council members, good evening. My name is Conley Brewer, and I'm a resident of District 6. I regret that circumstances dictate that I cannot be there with you in person. I want to give a very big heartfelt thanks to Ms. Krieger for being here in my place. I have spent more than 8,000 hours in the cockpit flying everything from regional jets to Boeing 747s. In aviation, when a crisis develops, you don't panic and you don't reach for a shortcut. You steady your hands, focus on what matters most, and then you cut everything that does not serve the mission. That discipline is not optional. It is required. Fort Worth faces a $49.3 million budget shortfall. Instead of a top-to-bottom review of discretionary spending, the city's response is to propose a new permanent street maintenance fee added directly onto residents' water bills. Just last month, taxpayers approved the largest bond package in city history, $845 million. More than half of it, $511 million, was specifically designated for streets and mobility infrastructure. That ink is barely dry on that vote, and now the city is coming back to those same families asking for another monthly fee for roads. Many residents in Southwest Fort Worth feel like this is a bait and switch. In my own home, budget triage is something I live with every day. As I have shared with you before, my wife Dawn was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at just 48 years old, and I am now her full-time caretaker. When our finances tighten, we do what families across the city do. We separate wants from needs. At our kitchen table, we ask three very simple questions. What does Dawn need to be safe? What does she need to be cared for? And most importantly, what does she need to be loved? Everything else, every want, every convenience, they all get put aside. That's what responsibility looks like, and that's what love requires. I believe this council should live by that same standard. Public service is about stewardship. Because I believe so strongly in that, I've said that if I were sitting at that dais, I would donate 100% of the increased city council salary, every single dollar, every single month, directly to Meals on Wheels of Tarrant County to support our homebound seniors. If we expect our neighbors to tighten their belts, our leaders must be willing to do the same. Public safety, clean water, and reliable infrastructure. These are not luxuries, they are needs, and they are our needs. Everything else is just a want. If $511 million for streets is not enough to stabilize our roads, then the problem is not the taxpayer, the problem is priorities. I respectfully urge this council to reject the new street maintenance fee and instead conduct the kind of disciplined budgeting that Fort Worth families are already forced to practice every single day. Thank you for your time and for your service to our city.
Our next speaker is Bob Willoughby, followed by Sarah Bradford. Yes, you may. Councilmember Nettles.
Okay, I just want to take a point. I just want to take a point of privilege. I know that we have not allowed
Agreed.
speakers. Okay, you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, and that shouldn't have been allowed in this situation either. Had we known that was the speaker, we would not allow that video to play.
Okay, also proxies as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I agree. Yes, sustained point of order. Thank you, Chris. Bob Willoughby, followed by Sarah Bradford.
Just play the video.
Hello, Maddie and council. Way down here from the bottom of the council agenda, where you got us, down here on the bottom. That's where council announcement should be, down here. Well, now that you've got a raise, that's a full-time salary. And I do not believe that you should be able to still do part-time work on full-time salary. If you want full-time salary, you ought to do full-time work. Now, we need to do away with community engagement. That's what community engagement was put in to do your job, and it cost us quite a bit of money. I mean, wasteful money, really. We cut that department.
Yep. You want to keep going, Bob?
These videos are pre-approved before you do this, and you're doing it.
Yeah, sustain. Point of order, sustain. But you can attack us all you want to. Just
How much
release
time do I
that
have
out of it.
left?
2 minutes.
Still got 2 minutes left to speak? Okay, don't play the video. It's okay. It makes my point, how they don't want you to know. And I feel sorry for you people because you're thinking you're dealing with people that care. They're not going to do anything for you. They don't care. I learned that a long time ago. You know? That's why I don't do it. Now, whoever is speaking, put your little light on something, see who it is. Speak up. You got something to say?
That's the second point of order, Mayor.
You shouldn't be a
sustain.
court of order.
The point
That's
is to
another
speak
beautiful
to us.
thing. Port of order. We used to never have a port of order until Mayor Parker got here. So,
He has to talk to council,
look,
not to.
this 3 minutes should be government free. This 3 minutes should be immune from government. The people come down here should have 3 minutes to speak or show whatever. And just because you don't like it, you shouldn't be able to stop it. If you did right, you wouldn't have to stop it. But you're not doing right. And this needs to be on top so people can see. That's why we're on the bottom so nobody can see us. You don't want to be exposed because they get educated. If they get educated, Mayor, I know you're not staying for another term. Your first term was here only to protect Betsy Price from going to jail. That's the only reason you're here. The only reason you stayed for a second term was the $2 million in your campaign fund to pay off. The third time, you're not staying. They probably got something else for you, so I look for you to go somewhere else. But I really hope you do stay, Mayor, because there ain't no one else I like to argue with more than you. You're beautiful to argue at. I can't afford professional counseling, but I get to come down here and vent for 3 minutes free, and I'll take advantage of it. And you know what? A good counselor would cost $7 a minute. That's $21. I go have dinner at El Chico's afterwards. So this comes out all right. But I don't, you know what? The school board is beautiful. It's day and night. Over at the school board now, it's like heaven. You come here, it's filthy. It's dirty. You people are dirty and you're filthy. You really are. Go to the school board and see how they work. That's heaven. You're hell.
Our next speaker is Sarah Bradford.
I want you guys to know that you guys are committing murder. You're killing me. It's two things said that's going wrong, and I have called, I have complained, I went over to the construction office, I've been everywhere, and nobody gives a care. All you guys think about, all of you, both sides, all you think about is money. All the money you can get. It doesn't matter about anybody else. And I'm here to announce right now that when I die, I'm writing you down as murderers because you actually murdered me. I can't breathe. I can't go outside my house because of all the dust and dirt across the street from me at the school. I have asked everybody. They had a petition up there, a cloth petition up there to keep the air from dirty from coming across the street. I live directly across the street from where they're working on that school, and I be dog. I started to say another word, but I be dog if they don't put anything up there that air blows over on me. Where's the camera? This is the picture of the back of my car in my driveway. Thank you very much. Now, if you see that much dirt on the back of my car, how the heck you think I'm supposed to breathe? You know, the white part of my house is brown. If I go outside, I have to have a mask. If I go to the doctor, I have to get out there and clean my cameras on the back of my car and my backup mirror, window, whatever. I have to get out there and clean them myself before I can get out the driveway. You know, I have gone through a whole lot in my life. You know, I had a son, he had muscular dystrophy. I took care of him, everything for him. And at the same time, I had a job 40 hours a week in Dallas, and I live in Fort Worth. And that's how hard I work with what I have. And then they come around and tear it up. You know, the paint off my car, you know, because all the dirt from across the street. And again, you're killing me, okay? I went, 820 is right down the street. They working on that bridge. They had a pothole that I couldn't get over. I drove in. It cost me $5,000 to get my car fixed because the city wouldn't do anything about it. And I gave everybody. I sent it to the city manager's office. Thank you very much. They sent it to somebody else. They sent it to somebody else, and then nobody ever said anything else about it. So I have 2 complaints here. My car got messed up, and now you're killing me. And I sincerely mean, I really mean that you're actually murdering me.
Letitia Wilburn, followed by E.J. Carrion.
Y'all know I agree with her. I'm from Echo Heights, and that's one of the most polluted communities in the nation. Now, y'all have, in the city of Fort Worth, y'all have polluted air, worse than the country, polluted water because Mayor Parker filed a lawsuit. So that means that the soil is also polluted. The best thing that you guys can do to fix that problem is to add more pollution to it. And it's crazy because y'all make all of these rules, like she said, that kills us. Our communities have some of the lowest life expectancies. And we come up here and speak to y'all, look at the mayor, she's looking down. Jeanette Martinez, she keep passing things in the community that we asked to keep out. You know, the east side of town does not have, besides the people are good, but y'all put bad things over there. The only good thing on the east side of town is Western Garden. And y'all want to put a data center around that. Y'all have no concern for human life. Y'all have no concern for the people. And I'm telling anybody who's listening, if y'all think that the city is going to do anything to regulate data companies, they won't. Come to Echo Heights. Echo Heights is a story to tell. You can come to Echo Heights and see how the city regulate things. We had a company, FedEx, operated for 5 years without proper permitting. And what did they do? They came in here and made a lot of promises that they didn't keep, and they knew they were not going to keep. And Jeanette Martinez knew they were not going to keep them. And what did they give them for operating 5 years without proper permitting? They gave them 2 more years of a conditional use permit. What do they do now? If you come to Echo Heights, if you stay there for 5 minutes, just sit on Martin Street where people are supposed to be, but trucks are not. Every major trucking company in that area comes down the street where they're not supposed to be. Y'all can't even regulate trucks. Y'all cannot regulate the noise in Echo Heights. When you have no trucking signs and from an elementary school and a police officer is sitting there while trucks come through, that's a problem. There's no regulations. And I want y'all to know, you always hear data centers coming here talk about low noise, but it's the noise you can't hear that's worse than the noise you can hear. Y'all can't even regulate the noise from the trucking company behind my home. Y'all need to get a life and let everybody else get a life and stop polluting Black and brown communities. No data center in Echo Heights.
E.J. Carrion is our next speaker.
All right, so we have no vote today. Gina Hinojosa is in town as well, so imagine how full this place would be today if y'all had to have the courage and actually vote today. Just think about what it would look like, feel like, the more signs you would see. But I know what you guys care about. You care about money, and you care about time. So I think I want to talk about this data center and the magnitude that it actually is, so you can actually have the courage to understand what we're facing. So let's talk about money. Let's just use an example. Last year in 2025, Mayor Parker raised $1 million to run for mayor. There wasn't any serious competition. But let's just take that $1 million And let's say for every second she had to live, she had to pay $1. That means if she took all that money, she would live for 12 days. All right? Now, the billionaires who fund that campaign, they got $1 billion they can spend on seconds. So $1 billion turned into 1 billion seconds, and they could live for 32 years. Now, this data center fight, what this is really a race to is the first trillionaires in this world. And y'all are trying to allow godlike billionaires chasing this, whatever artificial intelligence that they desire, right here in Fort Worth, Texas, because 1 trillion seconds is 32,000 years. You guys are 12 days of effort. And it feels like you're spending it on the godlike trillionaires rather than the communities who need you to fight. You're small, just like us. You're no bigger than us. And you all can have the potential to actually represent the people and show them how we can stand up to them. That's what this data center fight is about. Because this is foundational to who gets to create how the future is civilized. We're talking 5 trillionaires in the next 10 years. We have to start understanding we have no sophisticated zoning zoning laws. We have no sophisticated accountability around departments and how we keep them accountable. We have no understanding of taxes and how we can be a part of their exponential growth that we have to be a part of. And I know all of you are sitting there sobbing, and you guys have been one poor leaders this whole this whole day. This is a depressing place to live. So I'm just gonna start naming off voting, all right? So let's go with Chris Nettles. Chris Nettles, you won in 2025 with 1,717 votes. In the Democratic primary, 8,652 people voted in your district. Elizabeth Beck, 3,300 votes to win your seat. 8,700 people voted in the Dem primary. All right, we could keep going with Jeanette Martinez, 1,724. In the Dem primary, 7,000 people voted. Start waking up.
Our next speaker is a part of a group, but there are 3 groups signed up with the same group of people. So Stephen Sanchez, Ambika Sharma, or Kent De Cardenas, who's speaking on behalf of your group for 6 minutes. I just need one person to speak for 6 minutes, that's all. Who would like to speak? Yeah, they're all, but you've signed up to all the same people. There'll be one group speaker for 6 minutes. Is it Kent that's speaking? That's great.
I was told by the city secretary that we could share the same people.
No, you may not. That is not the rules. That's not the council rules. You can yell and scream, or we'll shut the meeting down, or we can have one person speak for 6 minutes. Or if you want to all speak 2 and 2, that's totally fine.
We have 30 people sign up if it's needed. They told us.
Would you like to speak?
They told us we could share. We have 30 people here if needed. We will stay. We call.
That's not the way this works. Would you like to speak?
You can't be changing the rules, PK. She called and they told us.
You have a total of 6 minutes. Would you like to speak? If you don't, I'll just shut the meeting down. I would really like to continue the meeting. If you can't stop yelling, I'm going to shut the meeting down.
Okay, guys, I got them. We got this. Okay. Is my time start?
Yes, it has. Yeah, of course. She's got 6 minutes. She has 6 minutes on the clock.
Okay, guys, shh. We got this. All right. They say, when they go low, we go high. So here we go. So my name is Ambika Sharma. I am the author of the moratorium, data center moratorium that probably is inundating your email accounts. And today we wanted to present our point of view in three parts. I was going to present the part about technology and economics. Another person was going to present to you about the code and the compliance and the ordinances. Another person, we had an audiologist with us who actually went to different data centers and recorded, and he was going to play the different decibels, which he sent to your team yesterday. But you want to play this way? Let's do it. Okay. Second slide, please. Whoever is doing that. Miss Jessica, I think, Miss Eakhorn. She actually explained to you guys what is a data center, and I take intellectual offense. Third slide. I take intellectual offense to that because she equated it to something like streaming Netflix or purchasing an airline ticket. That is not the data center that we are in opposition of. We're in opposition for an AI data center. An AI data center is using GPUs, graphic processing units, as opposed to CPUs, which is what the Facebook data center were. So to compare a CPU-based data center to a GPU-based data center is like comparing a Ferrari to a submarine. Sure, both of them can get you places, but they are not the same. Next slide. Now, what is artificial intelligence? It dates its days back to actually 1950. You may have seen a movie called Imitation Game, so that's Alan Turing. He helped shorten the World War II by breaking the Enigma code. In 1950, so after World War II, he wrote a very famous article called What If Machines Could Think? So that was in 1950, Alan Turing, Imitation Game. Fast forward to 2026, we do have machines that can think. You may know them as ChatGPT or Google's Gemini or Perplexity, etc. Next page. So again, what is artificial intelligence that I am here to speak about? Artificial intelligence is about having GPUs that can do parallel processing, not CPUs that only do linear processing and allows you to do web browsing. I am worried as a technologist about how fast artificial intelligence is going. And so are the people who are developing these LLM models, these large language models. So I just took 4 news articles, and I'm just giving you their headlines. So in April, one of the companies that's a premier in this space is called Anthropic, and they came up with a model called Claude's Mythos models. And basically an engineer overnight just said, hey, I'm going to sleep and just solve for any vulnerabilities in the system. What did the model do? The model actually scanned the entire internet infrastructure and found so many, I don't know how many vulnerabilities, but these are day 0 vulnerabilities. And they were afraid of releasing this model to the general public, so they called the White House. And the White House, and the Federal Reserve and the Secretary of Treasury called in big CEOs for a meeting on this. So this became a national security in April 2026. Coming from that, in April 2026, last week, President Trump passed an executive order asking these AI companies to release their models 30 days prior to general release for cybersecurity review. Then, last Friday, I don't remember the date, but Anthropic also said, hey, 80% of our code is now developed by models and not by humans, and they're asking for a global pause to AI development. So Anthropic, you may all know about OpenAI, but I, as a technologist, I use Claude. So Anthropic is actually at the frontier of developing models that are used by many more businesses than OpenAI. So if Anthropic, which is a premier here, if they're telling, let's pause, guys, I think this is going out of control, why are you all so eager to supply the energy that's going to build these LLM models? We are all humans. We eat bread, protein, we eat food. That's our energy. That's how we have energy to do things. These models, they need compute technology. And so when that is the data center, that is actually the bill that's in front of you. It's about creating compute technology and to power these LLM models so they can do things independently without human. As Alan Turing said, what if machines could think? So it's not about writing my essay on ChatGPT. It's about, I'm going to sleep, look at the internet and tell me what's wrong. And if these models get into the hands of hackers, we have a serious problem, as the White House and the federal government is recognizing. Next slide. Okay, well, I'll skip that. Next slide. I gave you all some bills, some receipts. So Jessica, this is her best argument, which is $83 million it brings to the city. She hasn't been able to back up this data. Please, Jessica, tell me how you did this. Then next slide, I'm looking at the actual bills that Fort Worth paid. So what I saw was Fort Worth or the Facebook paid. Facebook only paid, or Facebook is valued at $1.7 billion in 2025, the data center in North, and they did not get any abatement for the city of Fort Worth. They only got an abatement for 1 year in 2018. After that, Betsy Price didn't give them any abatements. County did. County gives $1 billion last year, and they lost $1.9 million in revenue.
Our next speaker is Alexandria Williams. Alexandria? No? Nidia Cardenas? Samantha Jukum? Adrian Smith? Adrian will be followed by Nancy Estrada.
WFAA News 8, Fort Worth Report, Fort Worth Star Telegram. Why hasn't remote speaking been restored to the Fort Worth City Council agenda? My direct questioning towards these three media outlets is because they are main sources of reporting on matters relating to our city. I also figure that since what I've been asking has fallen on deaf ears with this mayor, that maybe one of these media outlets could get the necessary answers. The process for how things have been done at City Hall since its inception far precedes what this mayor feels is the way for doing things. How does one continuously go on record touting city growth, expectations, and a perceived future while deliberately silencing the voices of people which are the heartbeat of this city? We're still talking about remote speaking, Mayor Parker. We are truly embarrassed, Mayor Parker, but I don't think you are embarrassed at all. Everything begins and ends with you. You are the face of this city. Council, don't think I've forgotten about you either. Remember, the seats you currently occupy didn't come by way of an employment application algorithm. The seats you occupy were made possible by the system of voting that's been in place since our nation's inception. So, Mayor Parker, I'm still up here advocating for remote speaking. Maybe one of the council members can do a council proposal to my council member, Dr. Hall, Ms. Peoples, our newly elected council member, Mr. Jameson. There was used to be a time where people used to be able to call into council to give voice to the issues that we discuss on the agenda, whether for or against. That doesn't exist anymore. So I'm advocating for those people who want to give their voice, Mayor Parker. $333 million is what this project cost us, taxpayers. The least you can do is open up that phone line and allow these people to call in. And Mayor Parker, in closing, in all fairness, I have witnessed developers come down here who haven't signed up to speak on any agenda item, given space and time to give whatever presentation they want to give, outside of the rules. City Secretary, please, be due diligence to these people who still trying to understand this process of signing up. Give them, a bit of guidance, so they won't fall when they come here, because the mayor's doing.
Nancy Estrada is our next speaker, followed by Amanda Coleman. Nancy Estrada. Thank you. Do you want to keep the meeting going and finish the public comment? Mrs. Estrada, please. Thank you. You can start. Yes, ma'am, please. Thank you.
Nancy 10. I was arrested by Fort Worth Police Department after reporting a sexual predator to Fort Worth Country Day Private School. A false police report was filed shortly after. No real investigation took place. I was never questioned, just another strategy to try and silence the truth. I asked for a trial by jury, and not one of the 4 prosecutors I had during my case wanted to take my case to trial. Harassment case dismissed. Qualified immunity, though, is being used as a weapon in Fort Worth. Friday in downtown, there was a peaceful protest. Officer Snyder assaulted 3 protesters and violated their constitutional rights. I filed a complaint with Internal Affairs after watching it live. I'm deeply disappointed as a taxpayer in local law enforcement when officers sworn to uphold the Constitution instead violate and trample on the rights of the people they serve. Assault and constitutional violations undermine public trust and damage the relationship between law enforcement and the community. Accountability is not optional, it is essential. We now have a constitutional police unit, correct? I was gonna call them and tell them about Snyder, the community terrorist, but they have no phone number. If someone could fix that, that would be great. Thank you for your consideration, and free Camelo.
Our next speaker is Amanda Coleman, followed by Tara Maldonado Wilson. Amanda Coleman, Tara Wilson, Holly Huertas, Tara. Tara will be followed by Holly Huertas.
I used to come down to city council all the time and give you guys the riot act. I ran for city council 3 times, District 4, and then the special election for District 4 against Alan Blaylock, and then 2023 against Jeanette Martinez for District 11. We threw a lot of numbers up here tonight. As a nobody that created their whole entire campaign on their own in 2021 as a nurse who was fed up with watching Fort Worth Police Department terrorize Black and brown communities. I lost by 2,054 votes, which is more than what you won by, Jeanette. I'm here tonight to ask you, all of you, please, to ask Jay Chapa and the city managers to officially pursue an AI data center moratorium. In the very least, to start that process so that we can pause and put the brakes on this. You all live here. This is your home too. Chris, you said, hey, this is like the car wash issue at the working session, but it's definitely not, my friend. That's like taking a swig of water. We're talking about opening the faucets and letting them have all the water. Those are 2 very different things. Once they pollute our water source and once we run out of it, we can't get it back. We're never gonna get it back. Macy, your husband's on the Tarrant Regional Water District. They're already fighting to get water from the Richland Chamber Reservoir, which is all the way in Corsicana, Texas. We've been robbing water from East Texas to give us water in North Texas. There is no comprehensive plan in the state legislature to keep in mind the water usage of data centers in their 5-year plan that they just put out. As you guys know, I'm an ER trauma nurse, and there's 3 fundamental things that every single one of us need to happen for us every 72 hours, or you will definitely feel this. You have to drink water or something with an electrolyte base in it. You have to intake food every 72 hours, and then you have to have a way to waste, meaning urine or bowel movements. If any of us sees any of these things in 72 hours, you will become my patient in the ER. I'm so sick and tired of you guys belittling people that come down here that just want to talk to you for 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 12 minutes, 18 minutes. It's not that hard. All of us, including myself, live with a supreme amount of privilege. To run for office, to win office, is such a privileged position to be in. And here's the thing. The reason why they didn't want me on city council, y'all, is because if I was in that District 11 seat and they stopped y'all from talking, I would stand up and tell y'all to let's get saucy in here and make them in this meeting. But that's why they don't want me up there. They don't want people like us up there. And the other thing that I'll say is from that seat, I will tell OpenAI, Google, Anthropic that they can take all of their data centers and all their computing power and they can put it up in a ball and they can shove it where the sun don't.
Our next speaker is Holly Huertas. Is Holly here? Holly will be followed by Gerald Banks Sr.
I just wanted to say, it seems like people don't, it just seems like the council that decided to accept this data center doesn't understand that it doesn't matter how advanced technology becomes, access to clean drinking water remains far more essential to human life than artificial intelligence ever will. It's just like, hello? Like, are you gonna drink the data? All right. So I think other people have, talked about how the city council was, I think his name is Rhett Bennett, donated I think it was $46,000 to the city council. I think that just needs to be reiterated over and over again. It's really, really sad. I mean, okay. Anyways, so I know a lot of people are concerned that we will run out of water, and that is so important, and absolutely, it's totally possible, considering what the last lady was talking about, how we're trying to get water from other places. And I mean, it's Texas. It's not like we're it's raining all the time over here. Okay, so as it turns out, the AI industry is not just using our water, it may also be contributing to its pollution. Residents in Morgan County, Georgia, say they've been seeing contaminated water following major data center construction in the area. Reports of murky, sediment-filled water have raised concerns among residents about the potential impacts of large-scale development on local groundwater supplies and long-term safety of their drinking water. Here's how it happens. As many people know, data centers require massive cooling systems to prevent servers from overheating. However, mitigating that risk introduces another concern: water contamination. Data centers can use and discharge large volumes of water, and experts have warned that wastewater construction runoff or improperly managed stormwater can affect groundwater and surface water systems if not properly controlled. There are three primary categories of pollutants that data centers can introduce into the water systems. First are biocides. The EPA defines biocides as substances that used to control organisms that can be harmful to humans or animal health, or that can damage equipment and infrastructure. Data centers use biocides to prevent mold, bacteria, and algae growth cooling systems. Their use can extend beyond cooling equipment as well. During construction, various chemical treatments may be used to control erosion and stabilize soil, creating additional pathways for contaminants to enter nearby water systems if safeguard fails.
Our next speaker is Gerald Banks Sr. Gerald will be followed by Kent De Cardenas.
Gerald Banks Sr., District 5. The ultimate divide. The ultimate divide is to continue to have the melanated people against one another. Blacks against Mexicans, Orientals, Asians, Arabs, Africans, etc. will give the white supremacy individuals with their Willie Lynch, Jim Crow mindset the control to continue with the terror that has never left this nation until we realize that they will have the true power, and what they do with it is not good for us. Guess that clean air and water is one of them. Just think if we all come together as a melanated unit, respecting one another without the hate, the violence, this world would be a better place in itself. Be mindful and don't get arrested, because you're gonna have to pay the same crooked system that you're fighting against. They say justice is blind. Well, I want justice to take off that damn blindfold and see what is really going on. Modern day lynching, like today. Justice for Camilla Anthony and all the victims of this American KKK system. I appreciate you listening.
Mr. Cardenas, followed by Manuel Mata.
All right, I want to make this quick. I would like to address the data center presentation from last Tuesday, in particular the speed with which it has been proposed that new city ordinances and regulations be put into effect. First, making the presentation and assuming that there needs to be no revision of proposals by you, the council, or us, the citizens, is preposterous. It sets the tone that the report was perfect and had no flaws or oversights in its evaluations. The following is a list of proposed changes to our zoning ordinances and code that should be implemented and concerns that should be more acutely addressed so that the residents of Fort Worth can truly live with the potential data centers being proposed for our city. Zoning regulations and plan approval. All data center regulations should be based on a tiered system, the tier set by the megawatt usage and not square footage. The more megawatt used, the more stringent the restrictions imposed by the city. A mega data center above 100 megawatts, such as the one proposed for the Lon Stevenson location, should only be allowed in K districts based on the amount of noise pollution alone. Evergreen trees and vegetation must be required in a triple row screen with height requirement of a greater value than existing buildings on neighboring property. Developers must be required to disclose future phased expansion they would like to pursue that relates to current proposals, even on property that they currently do not own or have sought to rezone. Failure to disclose should automatically prevent developers from expansion beyond the current proposed location. Data center size can and should be capped by setting a ratio of coolant capacity to total gross square footage of buildings and requiring initial fill to be completed within 1 year of receiving certificate of occupancy. Standby generators and cooling equipment should be completely enclosed in a building courtyard with only limited access through a double solid gate. All site plans and buildings must be designed to provide viable future use that is different than the immediate proposed project. Noise ordinances. Current noise limits are already too high. The current standard from the EPA's 55 dBA day or night. The World Health Organization has released studies that show long-term negative effects for people of all ages, but especially children who are exposed to constant noise levels above 53 dBA during the day and 45 dBA at night. The city should add a component to the noise ordinance that penalizes a noise emitter if a low-frequency noise is part of the sound profile. The penalty would lower the overall allowed limit by 10 dBA. All systems that could create low-frequency persistent sound, cooling, power generation, etc., must have active noise cancellation systems accompanying them and state-of-the-art vibration dampening systems. An ambient noise study should be required of all new proposed commercial developments, not just all data centers. Ambient noise studies should be 3 separate 24-hour samples with a 90-day gap between each sample so multiple seasons can be captured. The samples should set a daytime and nighttime average. Development should be capped at the current ambient sound levels, not the plus 5 dBA as the city report proposed. The developer must be barred from knowing when the samples are being taken.
Our next speaker is Manuel Mata, followed by Blaine Toole. Is Mr. Mata available? Thank you, Kent. Appreciate it. Mr. Mata? No, you don't. Thank you, though, for coming. Thanks for coming. Mr. Mata will be followed by Blaine Toole. Can you remove Mr. E.J. Carrion, please? Thank you. That's like the 4th or 5th time he's yelled from the audience. Appreciate it. Mr. Mata will be followed by Blaine Toole.
I live in Carlos's district, and I warned you about these cops. This one right here, while they're refusing to identify because I'm not part of an investigation, he goes in his squad car, looks up my name, gives out my name, first and last name, and my birthday. Next slide. This is his supervisor, Lieutenant Medrano. And I've dealt with him before. He turned off his body camera when Sergeant Ramirez lied to him over a case that got dismissed, right? So I told them I'm gonna investigate them. Next slide. This is what Officer Atkins did to a young man, Brock, who left from downtown, and his girlfriend and her mom beat him up, dragged him out of the car, and left him on the side of the road, right? They responded, a dude called, a 911 call says shots fired. Officer Atkins drove around the corner and ran him over and unalived him. 3 more officers went down the same street. None of them hit him. The second one that went after him missed him. The third and the fourth one stopped and found him. You know what they told his mom? Nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. And these are the cops I'm dealing with, and I told you, I used to live in Elizabeth Beck's district, and it took me 2 years to get them to stop messing with me. I told you, is it gonna take 2 years for them to stop doing this to me? I'm a law-abiding citizen. I assert my constitutional right because it's afforded to me as a free person. All of y'all have missed the point of accountability, transparency, because y'all all took POA money, so y'all can't say nothing. And that's what I'm here to expose. So until y'all get y'all cops in line and they keep arresting me like Snyder downtown, I'm going to keep exposing them just like this. Wait till I get the body cam footage, all the investigations y'all did on this dude, Atkins, and I'm gonna post it. I'm done playing. I've asked you, I've been filming for 8 years, and I've told each and every one of y'all, stop these cops from doing this to me and people in my community, because I'm the only one that ain't scared to tell them how it is. Could you imagine what they're doing to my community members who don't understand what they're doing and have been told and are afraid of them because they keep harassing them? I'm not afraid of Atkins. I'm not afraid of Medrano, Ramirez, Chief Garcia. I don't care about none of that because they all work for me, just like y'all do. Remember that.
Blaine Toole, then Sabrina Ball.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Blaine Toole. I'm a precinct chair with the Tarrant County Democratic Party and one of the local leaders of Fort Worth Area Indivisible. I'm here to urge the City Council to place a moratorium on data center development and expansion in Fort Worth until 2028. The recently proposed city ordinances do not go far enough to protect the public from potentially harmful side effects of living or going to school near data centers. The recently released state water plan for 2027 does not include projected data center construction or resource usage. At the same time, Tarrant County has struggled as a whole, hitting roadblocks acquiring water sources to keep up with projected population growth. As of May 12th of this year, more than 65% of Texas was officially under drought conditions. Mayor Parker said herself in a recent interview back in April that public concerns over data centers is a statewide conversation, and thus the state needs to step in and help regulate the situation. Even Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller has called on a pause for data center construction. There are gaps between city, county, and state regulation, and it's within those gaps predatory industries sink their teeth in and poison communities. The Texas House does not go back into proper session until January of 2027, and the people of Texas deserve meaningful regulation and oversight to be put in place over data center construction and resource usage. I see that taking at least a year. We need truly independent environmental, health, and economic impact studies. The last decade of natural disasters across the state have laid bare the fragility of our infrastructure and has made clearer more than ever the need to preserve and properly steward our natural resources. Water is a human right, not a corporate asset. If the water crisis in Corpus Christi is a canary in the coal mine, I don't know what is. A city half the size of Fort Worth that is functionally out of water. It's a crisis driven by drought, poor city management, and a different hungry water industry, petrochemicals. with warnings that went back to the 80s about water city usage and industrial growth. But the people of Corpus Christi have been left holding the bag the entire time, all the same. We have to look out for our neighbors because data centers across the country have had a track record for destroying home values, raising utility costs, tainting local water, and causing health issues. While economic development is important, the health and well-being of the people of this city far outweigh any tax incentive. Thank you, good night, and good luck.
Sabrina Ball, followed by Mary Hendrickson.
I'm here tonight to remind you of your responsibility to Fort Worth because representation matters. At the county level, the man I voted for no longer represents me, and my new rep answers to Tim O'Hare. As a Fort Worth ISD parent, I have no representation. My principal is leaving. Half the teachers my daughter had this year are leaving, all good teachers. The takeover board voted to dismantle language education for over 27,000 students, and they're ignoring over 51,000 letters asking to reinstate a highly qualified principal who was targeted by extremists. And tonight they discuss spending $25 million on Elevate, an unproven model. Fort Worth ISD is the largest district in this city, and we need you to push back. Federally, my congressman, Craig Goldman, won't take appointments, won't do town halls, you can't talk to him on the phone, and your friends in the private Fort Worth club where he offices, which our tax dollars pay for, shield him from this responsibility. We gather outside the club to practice our First Amendment right, the only recourse we have with Craig, and to gather donations for all the people he ignores. For an hour, during lunch on busy Fridays. No one blocks traffic or the sidewalk. Yet last month, the noise of a single drum was too much for a resident somewhere high up in the club. Your noise ordinance was used to shut down a small protest for a single drum. This man here in the picture loves to walk by and insult us, and we usually brush it off. Can you put the picture up, please? But last Friday, he decided to harass a citizen, to follow us and call us demons. Then he called the police because his feelings were hurt when he was asked to leave us alone. He wasn't asked nicely enough. I observed Officer Snyder kick a senior citizen, a man who was concerned for his wife being manhandled by police, thrown against a car, the contents of her purse scattered. Her crime was trying to de-escalate when Officer Snyder escalated. 3 people went to jail without investigation. PD only spoke to this man, not the senior citizen he insulted, Mr. Horton. I've given you his statement and another. It's handwritten in cursive, if that tells you anything about Mr. Horton. PD did not look at the video of this man harassing us and following us. We were told to leave. If I wanted to file a complaint or defend our group, I would have had to talk to Officer Snyder, a man I just observed kicking someone and manhandling a woman, a cop who didn't even put his name on the paperwork. All of this to shield Craig Goldman from answering to taxpayers. Having organized rallies myself, I can appreciate the work of law enforcement to keep us safe, but I can recognize when they pose a threat. You will see that PD acted inappropriately last Friday, and you can expect that we will be more vigilant in the future. But more importantly, we should not have to beg every level of government to listen. Tonight, a large group of people are here begging you to listen for the people of Fort Worth. If you will not represent them, who will?
Mary Hendrickson, followed by Catherine Woolley.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak. As a veteran, we had signed up to serve.
Will you
and
pull
fight.
that microphone? There you go. Thank
As
you.
a veteran, we signed up to serve and fight. We know we were going to be exposed to weapons, chemicals, loud noises, but civilians, nature, agriculture, they didn't sign up for it. It's being shoved down their throats. We have 86 billionaires tied to AI data centers with the combined pocket money of $2.9 trillion. And they are asking citizens, cities, states to help pay for paved roads so they can bring their loud trucks in, bring in dust. They are profiting from this. We will get medical bills. People will be affected mentally and physically. Mothers will have miscarriages due to the 10 chemicals that are used to support AI centers. I have been on the flight line where I have been exposed to 90 decibels or more. These diesel generators, chillers, High-pitched mechanic noise will have 100 to 105 decibels. Some of these places that are already existing that have lived 2 to 5 miles away are feeling the vibrations. They cannot go outside and enjoy their backyards. They cannot sleep at night. I know what vibrations feel like. I know what hearing is. I have no hearing hardly in my left ear. Amazon paid $20 million fine for contaminating waters in an agriculture area. They tried to wash the water down, rinse it out, put it through a process, and they poisoned the water to 45,000 residents that depend on this and agriculture. In Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, a teacher who has a creek running in front of her home, a small farm. Her water has disappeared on and off from the creek due to all the construction, and now it comes back white, milky, foamy, and full of chemicals. There are communities that are having to buy bottled water to bathe, drink, and cook. It is not fair that billionaires can come in like the Gestapo and tell us what we can have and what we can't have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your service.
Proud to serve.
Catherine Woolley. Catherine Woolley will be followed by Carissa O'Pry. Is Catherine here? Carissa O'Pry. Carlos Silva. Jonathan Demarest. Jonathan will be followed by Steven Sanchez.
Carlos.
Oh, sorry. Carlos will be followed by Jonathan Demarest.
Am I started yet? Okay, great. So, real quick, I just want to be very clear what happened here today. We had members of our group reach out to the city and ask what we needed to do to have 3 6-minute presentations. We were told that we needed to have 10 people and that those people could be representative of all 3 of those people that were speaking. Then we come up here and you tell us differently. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're wrong. We got that information from your office. So you're contradicting yourself, okay? I'm gonna finish the Ambika's presentation, so please, if you still have the handouts, look at those, because those are receipts. Those are receipts that she got from TAD that she's looked up herself. The data center for Facebook is appraised at $1.7 billion in personal property for 2025. No abatements from the city of Fort Worth were given in 2025. The city of Fort Worth only provided a 10% tax abatement in 2018 only. That's 6 years ago. Northwest ISD collects revenue through Denton County. Tarrant County lost $1.9 million in revenue on this account alone by providing a $1 billion abatement in 2025. I need you to understand what that means. That means that a property that was valued at $1.6 billion was given an abatement of $1 billion, okay? That's the county. That's what we're telling you not to repeat. This is not an economic development boon that the data centers are gonna bring to town. They are going to pollute communities, they're going to take water, they're gonna take resources, and they're gonna give nothing back. Because it's all towards a ploy to build a godlike superpower or just make a boatload of money doing it, trying. So here are the receipts. You guys have them. You can look at them or don't. These data centers will build compute power to power AI models that are growing faster than anticipated, but for what? What do we get out of it? What do I get out of it? Oh, I get to be faster at work? Oh, whoop-de-doo. Do I get clean water? Do I get electricity when we have hotter and hotter summers and colder winters? Are people dying when they don't get power? Are they thirsty when they don't get water? What do we get? Okay? The city manager needs to start a process for a moratorium to take the time to deliberate with industry leaders, not just real estate developers, and most importantly, with the community. You are here to represent the community. So say no to data centers. Thank you.
Jonathan Demarest will be followed by Steven Sanchez and then Nydia Cardenas.
Councilwoman Beck, 2000. Councilman Crane, 2000. Councilman Losdorf, 2000. Councilwoman Hill, 2000. Councilwoman Martinez, 2000. Councilman Flores, $4.5 thousand. And this one really disappoints me. Councilman Nettles, $20,000. This is the amount of money each of you has taken from Black Mountain CEO, Rhett Bennett. Now, not shown here is Mayor Parker. Even prop money is expensive, unfortunately, but for the record, she took $12,000 combined. That is roughly $44,000 in campaign contributions in this council. If seeing it like this makes some of you uncomfortable, I understand, but what strikes me is not that this is a lot of money. What strikes me is that in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that much money at all. For comparison, that is about the price of a new 2026 Honda Pilot. A nice car, sure, but not a Ferrari, not enough to defend hyperscale data centers. But still, residents are being asked to believe that this money has nothing to do with what is happening here. We are being asked to believe that it is just a coincidence the Black Mountain CEO gave thousands of dollars to members of this council while Fort Worth is being pushed towards a data center project residents are actively rallying against. We are being asked to believe that this is just a coincidence that you, Councilman Nettles, received $20,000, 10 times what most members on this council received, and that this data center just so happens to be planned for your district. Maybe you can all look your constituents in the eye and say this money has no effect whatsoever. But the problem is that residents should not have to wonder. We should not have to look at campaign finance reports, look at the proposed data center, look at the emails being ignored, and ask if our council is listening to residents or to donors. Because we know what this project brings: a drain on public utilities, noise pollution, light pollution, minimal job growth, more pressure on infrastructure, and for all we know, an industry built on AI hype that looks more and more like the dot-com bubble on steroids. We may be approaching a project that becomes an empty billion-dollar warehouse within a few years, while residents are left with the repercussions in the meantime. This is what makes people cynical about local government, that the politicians closest to home, the people who are supposed to be community leaders and responsible public servants, are taking money from the same interests, asking this city for approval, and then expecting Fort Worth to not notice. Well, we noticed. If this money continues to work against the demands of Fort Worth residents, it will not benefit the politicians who took it. It will become a political liability, because by May of next year, people will know exactly who listened, who ignored them, and who stood with Black Mountain when residents asked for a moratorium. So put in the damn moratorium. Thank you.
You want to keep this? Steven Sanchez will be followed by Nydia Cardenas.
Sorry, we're trying to pull up the presentation.
The records show that was 48.7 decibels at A waiting. Good evening, Council. My name is Steven Sanchez, and I'm an audio engineer and audio forensic analyst based here in Fort Worth. As you just heard, 160 hertz tone was currently filling this chamber. It's actually really low. I don't know why. Slide 2, please. The blue lines from the 1933 Fletcher-Munson test are alongside the red lines in the international standards curves from 2003. These are the equal loudness curves. In 2003, the scientific community corrected a 70-year-old error accounting for binaural hearing, how human ears actually hear in an open room and environment, rather than through 1930s headphones. It proved humans are even more sensitive to low frequencies than previously measured. Slide 3, please. Yet our city ordinances rely entirely on the blue A-weighted curve derived from those outdated 1933 findings. Because A-weighting was designed to mimic that old data, it aggressively turns down the volume frequencies electronically inside the meter itself, chopping up to 50 decibels of physical sound pressure. It strips real irritating structural acoustic energy off the record. The city should not base noise ordinances off data centers for A-weighting. Slide 4, please. Let the record show that C-weighted was 61 decibels. I wanted to verify if infrasonic to find the truth, I rented out a field-calibrated Instantel Micromate for environmental infrasound logging and an SPL meter that has the National Institute of Standards Technology traceable certificate. Slide 6, please. I wanted to verify if infrasonic waves were physically striking residential structures, an acoustic phenomenon I experienced personally living 2.5 miles from Panther Island Pavilion. My logging verified there are no unsafe or structural levels of infrasound coming from these data center footprints at the time of recording. This is not a structural vibration issue. It is an issue of continuous airborne acoustic pressure. Slide 45, please. I have provided a short binaural recording link so you can listen on headphones on your own time to experience the wall of sound reality of standing next to this facility. Really, it's actually across the street. Slide 46, please. Now look at the city staff's own slides. Every single comparison example the police gave us is a fleeting noise of a point source. A bird chirps and flies away, a car passes. A data center is a massive permanent line source. It does not move, it does not decay cleanly over a distance, and it never stops roaring, 24 hours a day. Dropping this into a neighborhood breaks the peace entirely, especially when my data of these residential streets naturally well below 50 dBA during the day. One can only assume it is quieter at night. The truth is found in C-weighted or Z-weighted curves, or better yet, changing our scale to zones, which measures true linear human loudness perception. Our call to action is a moratorium, or to at least start the process. Thank you.
Nadia Cardenas, followed by Jessica Schulman.
I wanted to speak to two parts of your job tonight and the tension that lives between them. So part of your role is to solve problems in front of you, like revenue gaps, budget shortfalls, showing constituents you're keeping the lights on, and I recognize staying in office requires delivering results that people can see. But there's a second part of your job. It's quieter, it's less rewarded, one that's harder to run on, stewarding our collective future. And those two roles are in direct tension right now. I noticed in the working session slides that the word inevitable appeared. So when you believe something is inevitable, you stop asking whether it should happen. You only manage how it's happening. And that word is doing a lot of work tonight. It's providing political cover for a decision that in some places has already proven to be the wrong one. I imagine elected officials face two voices in this moment. One asks, what keeps me in office? The other asks, what can I live with myself on? Tonight, I'm asking the second voice to be louder. So let's give that second voice something to work with. Here's what we actually know and what we don't. We know that in 2025, Texas data centers consumed an estimated, on the low end, 25 billion gallons of water. And we know that figure could reach 161 billion gallons by 2030. We know Texas' own state water plan doesn't even account for data centers. The data it uses predates the AI boom entirely. We know data centers create minimal permanent jobs relative to their resource demands, and we know what has already happened less than 4 hours north of us in Granbury. Residents who showed up to fight data centers described living next to a constant industrial hum, which Stephen just talked about. One said, I get to pay property taxes to be audibly assaulted. So we also don't know about the impacts on human or animal health. What we don't know. So what we don't know is, where is AI going? We don't know how many of these facilities will become obsolete in 10 years. We don't know the true local water impact because companies rarely disclose it. We don't know how much of the grid burden eventually lands on our residents through higher utility rates. That uncertainty is the argument for a moratorium, not against one. The problem this body appears to be solving for is tax revenue. That is a problem of today, and it has many solutions. Drought does not. A grid in crisis does not. The communities downstream of these decisions don't get a vote in this room, but you are our representatives. Tax revenue is a problem with many solutions. The destruction of our collective future, again, is not. When you decide on a moratorium, both parts of your job will be watching, and I'm asking you to use the one with the longer memory to win. Pursue a moratorium now, please, and protect our future.
Jessica Schulman, we followed by Alexander Montalvo.
Good evening, and thank you, City Council and Mayor. If I hear data center one more time, I'm gonna beat my head against a wall, and I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. You know, you guys are all people, and I'm sure that this is really hard not to be hardened to all of us. You know, this line makes it feel like you're the enemy, and you're not. We're all on the same team. You guys all live here too, and we're all just trying our best. You guys are trying your best, and you guys are doing your jobs the way that you feel that you need to, and that's admirable. We're all here, missing time with our spouses or our kids, missing bedtimes, as I'm sure you guys are too. Just trying to do our best, and here we are just asking for more consideration, and I'm sorry, data centers, moratorium is why I'm here. All we're asking for is a pause. There's so much we don't know, and there's no backpedaling. And I spent my morning getting laid off and then going to the Parker County Commissioners meeting because we're getting hit on the other side of Walsh with another Black Mountain data center the size of Aledo. And it's alarming how fast this is happening, and no one is taking a pause. So I'm just here to beg on my hands and knees. And Councilman Crane, you've been so lovely about speaking with me about this, so I very much appreciate that back and forth. And I don't know all of you personally, but I know that you're people with families who live here, and you're just doing your best. And this is a late night, and we're all so tired of talking about it. But we're just asking for a pause, wait until we know more, and the collective data of having them all around us. Like I said, this is like the third one. We've got Veal Ranch, we've got Black Mountain on this side of Fort Worth, and Black Mountain in Parker County, and we're just getting hit from all sides, and we don't know, the true destruction that this could cause. So I know that you guys' hands are tied, and I'm sure you're really tired of getting screamed at. It's gotta be really hard. But do anything you can to fight for us and for our kids. This is a truly bipartisan issue. I consider myself a pearl-clutching conservative, as most of the moms are out in Walsh. And so the morning that we spent talking about data centers, the people looked really different there than they do here. It's just to show you how bipartisan this is and how we are just desperate. This is a desperate plea. To just wait, pause and learn more. So thank you for your time.
Alexander Montalvo, followed by David Martinez.
Okay, before I get carried away, I want to make it clear what the request that I have and the people have is that for City Manager Jay Chapa to instruct your staff to start the process of a data center moratorium. It is our understanding that from Jessica, the Assistant City Manager, that instruction needs to come from you, and it needs to come from you right away in order for it to be in place for the vote that can happen in the next few months. So please start that process now. In terms of what we've seen today, a couple other community members mentioned that, for some of us, it takes an immense amount of privilege for us to be able to be here in this meeting. Not every person in our city of 1 million people can be here. And what we hear constantly is the gratitude of us showing up to be able to share the concerns that they have that they may not be here for. But they do show up in other ways, like the over 26,000 emails that have been sent asking for this data center moratorium. They show up in other ways and how they engage online, because that's the space they can engage from to be able to share that they do not want data centers in Fort Worth. But what I've seen today, in a day of a lot of government business within Tarrant County and Fort Worth, is I saw county commissioners unwilling to support the Help Center for LGBTQ+ health with a proclamation, just a thank you for the work that they do. And what I saw instead was just cowards. What I saw at the school district board of managers meeting is an unwillingness to hear about how the grift is in with a TEA takeover and how people from outside our community are going to leverage this window to profit versus actually serving our kids in our community. Something you sought, Maddie. And they didn't want to hear that. More cowardice. And what I've seen today is when a community organizes to share the concerns for their lives and the lives of their families and the lives of their communities, you can't afford 12 minutes for them. That is being cowardly, and the city council today have all collectively showed the cowardice that y'all have right now. Any one of y'all could have stood up to fought for the people in the city, to let the people speak, and it wouldn't have cost you anything but 12 total minutes. But it's just one example of how leadership in this city and in this county will do everything they can to shut down the people's voice to benefit corporations and billionaires. And we're telling you, we're done with it.
David Martinez.
Good evening. I guess I'm gonna be the oddball in the room because I am for the data centers. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I use AI. I'm gonna let y'all know something personally. I was in an incident where I lost part of my legs and amputated my feet and legs, things like that, and then also having a quadruple bypass. Which brings up a real quick note. We're gonna have a JPS hospital being built. I think there should be a memorial for the people who died during the pandemic. It's like we moved on without even thinking about them. And I was there in the hospitals and I would see people dying every day. That's something we should need to talk about later on. But right now I'm talking about data centers. None of the things that people are not gonna talk about is, well, somebody brought up about how the data center's been here since the 50s, 60s, and it has been. I work with some people that were there at the beginning, and my father being one of them. The things that we know now, the things that you're barely seeing right now is 20 years obsolete. Due to national security reasons, you cannot know these things that are out there happening now. And I want to let you know the enemy is not going to stop data centers. They're continuing their progress, and it's there to overcome us. And some of these communist countries are supporting these socialists. And these socialists are here, they think this is a game. They think this is about, listen, I'm Native American. I would be the first one to stop this, if there was toxins going to be where my grandchildren are going to be down the street. I'd be the first one to stop it. But I'm trying to tell you what's more important is our defense and our prosperity. We go look in history what happened, and when settlers came here to Fort Worth, and when we would allow them to drink at the water of the Trinity River, and what happened? Some of our families started dying, and we knew it was something they were bringing diseases. We didn't know about diseases in those days. We just knew it was bad medicine, and it said, well, and when we asked them to leave, they didn't leave. And what happened? We went to battle with some of the militia, and some of the big investors came and they sent the U.S. military after us. We had already left Fort Worth. We had went west. And now today, what is happening? We see people being manipulated on the internet saying, and then I've talked to people, I try to tell them, well, listen, we'll go ahead and set up something where we have like a city agency, something like the environmental protection, where they come and do investigations if we want. But that's one of the solutions that we could talk about. But I don't hear solutions. All I hear is there's everybody going to hear you, going to be totally against it. I stand by Chris Nettles. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Council, that's the conclusion of our public comment tonight. Tonight we're going to close the meeting in honor of Mr. Walter Rainwater, a man whose legacy is found in thousands of lives he helped improve across Fort Worth and beyond. Walter was a proud Fort Worth native. He earned his bachelor's and master's degrees from TCU and built a distinguished career as a nuclear engineer and researcher. One of the most notable chapters of Walter's life began after retirement when he became a middle school math teacher because he believed every child deserved a chance to succeed. That decision illustrated his deep belief in the power of quality education. Walter was a beloved trustee of the Rainwater Charitable Foundation. Walter helped steer transformative investments in children, schools, veterans, and community development. His leadership touched countless organizations and initiatives that continue to strengthen Fort Worth today. Some of those initiatives he championed included Morningside Children's Partnership, First Tee Fort Worth, Dream Big Scholarship, now the Meyerson Rainwater Scholarship Program, Tarrant 2 and Through or T3 Partnership, Fort Worth Forum, Texas Wesleyan University Leadership Academy Network Schools, and Camp V. Walter's vision for Fort Worth was rooted in opportunity, and he worked tirelessly to expand our possibilities for future generations through his philanthropy, mentorship, and advocacy. Today, we honor not only what Walter did for our community, but also what he did with wisdom, generosity, integrity, and genuine care for others. Thank you, and meeting is adjourned.